Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing, testing. We doing all right. We doing cool. I don't know why. I see there's people here, but I don't see the chat. So y'all let me know if I sound okay. Y'all let me know if I sound okay. We're gonna get into a few things today. I don't know why it's doing that. Wait, hold up. It might be because I have it open in two places. Nope. No chats. There we go. Okay, chats were just. I feel like the chats were delayed. Anyway, Jam, how we doing? Rack and Slide, how we feeling? Will Ariat? I don't know how to say that. Can you turn volume up a tad? Okay, we can do that. We can do that. I can make that happen. Oh, I gotta do it in the hold up. Boom. I'm gonna turn up just a little bit. Oh no, you're good. You're good. Okay, so while I do this, this is go up to 65. Boom. Wow. So, first things first. How we doing? How we doing, Jam? Scott Carroll, T Voice, Jackie Henderson. Hope everybody's doing great. As y'all know, if I haven't told you, I got something coming up, right? If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. But I will be taking some time away coming soon. So I want to explain what that means for you guys, what it means for members, everybody else in between, right? So I'm probably going to take a week or two away, depending on how everything goes. But content-wise, I will still be posting some content. So obviously, it's not going to be as heavy. It won't be up to date with everything, but I will be just to coincide with the end of the year. And to coincide with everything else in between. I'll be dropping some compilations from this year. This has been an absolute phenomenal year. I'm going to drop some stuff, some compilations of different things, whether it's Shedeur stuff, Jimmy Horn Jr. stuff, Arch Manning stuff, Game Rat, like all those types of things. I'm going to drop those, once a day for about a week or two. And then after that, when I'm back, we'll be back to regular scheduled programming. Hopefully with an aim on a little more quality, right? With an aim on bringing the receipts in the right way. Trey Stone, love the content. I appreciate you, Mr. Noosley. Makes sense, no problem. Hey everyone, okay, so same thing. Boom. So I will be doing that. I just want to make sure before if anybody gets caught off guard or anything, the content stops being up to date. Why is things not he's posting stuff, but this is all compilations. It's because I got a serious responsibility. Again, if you know, you know. But I got a serious responsibility I have to handle for a second. So I gotta make sure everything's right there. Now, as it pertains to this particular stream, we got a loaded one. I don't know the next time I'll be able to go live again. That's how serious the thing is. So I want to get in a lot of different things in this stream. So obviously we're going to talk about 12. Where would we be if we weren't talking about 12? You feel me? So we're going to talk about him in a few different ways. We're going to talk about Shedeur being his biggest critic, and it was always something that's interesting to me when people talked about Shedeur. It's like, again, if you don't like him as a football player, there's nothing I can say to you. Hey, everybody's got their own opinion. People like different stuff. Cool. You don't really. That's cool. I'm not here to change your mind. But what I will never, ever, ever, ever allow people to do is try to paint Shedeur like he's someone who he's not, and he's someone who's always has the right attitude that's been documented. And on top of that, he's one of his biggest critics. So we're going to talk about that. That video will either be out tonight or tomorrow. And then we're going to talk about Mr. Fernando Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza. But we're going to kind of... We're not going to talk about him as much as we're going to be talking about the fact that this team is just not made to win football games, right? If you Browns fans want to put a Fernando Mendoza back there to get clobberated, I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't. And then y'all know y'all been noticing I've been pushing that Texans propaganda, so we will be talking about CJ Stroud and my Texans. Of course, big news today. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua turned the ball over. He has been benched for another Texas guy, hook 'em horns, Quinn Ewers. So we're going to talk about that. That'll be a fun time to talk about. And speaking of Longhorns, I'm going to talk about the complete season that is for Arch Manning. Obviously, my Longhorns are sadly not going to the playoffs, first time in a few years. So that's what we got today. That is what we got today. Boom, boom. All right. Any opinions? Houston is okay. Now we the best in the business. He's the best in the business. Yeah, and I like Mendoza. That's the thing. I think Mendoza is a good football player, but thinking that he's going to be able to solve this is like, dog, Deshaun Watson. But and that's been my point. But I don't want to waste too much of that. I don't want to waste too much of that. Shedeur must stop beating himself down too bad. It's being used against him. Nah, I don't think it's being used against him. I think him being honest and showing that, so many people think, and we're gonna get into that. I disagree, but I see what you're saying. Arch had a good first year starting. Hey man, they don't Mono, what's going on? What's going on, Nisa? Man, some of the best in the business, man. I appreciate y'all and everything y'all do. Archie did have a good first year. Houston is the best team in the world. Mendoza to the Raiders is very possible. Yeah, and that's the other conversation. There's a lot of, like, if the Browns want Mendoza, they're gonna have to trade up to get Mendoza. Like they gonna have to work to get. It's not as now, and maybe Dante Moore stays, but we don't know if Dante Moore is even declaring. Dante Moore might stay another year. So. Like it's a lot. Wait, hasn't it been confirmed that wait. I want to get this. Oh yeah, we're gonna do some woof at the end. We're gonna do some Dante Moore draft. Has Dante Moore already said he was coming back? Dante Moore gets NFL draft status update. Dante Moore update could change everything. Just playing. Okay, so no, there's no update on Dante Moore. Okay, I thought there was. I was like, is there an update on Dante Moore? All right, let's get into it. Dante Moore's average. Yeah. That's crazy talk. If Browns fans believe Mendoza can solve their problem. Hey, that's what some Browns fans do believe it. So that's what some Browns fans believe. But let's get into it. So Shedeur Sanders has been called a lot of different things. And my channel, really one of its biggest, explosions in viewership came off of Shedeur's draft slide. And it's not really about the play, because at the time, the play was never really discussed. What was discussed was off the field things. And to me, as somebody who had the pleasure of watching well-off media videos, watching Deion Sanders as he grew and seeing the type of person that his kids were, it never added up that Shedeur Sanders was arrogant and all these different things. And it's starting to come out in reflections. If you don't like Shedeur Sanders, the football player, hey, brother, there's nothing I can do to help you. However, if you think that you have some weird a negative against Shedeur Sanders, the person, well, I think you might be greatly misled by media propaganda. Now, getting into it, let's start with the head coach, who I think is not going to have a job much longer. But this is what he had to say about Shedeur Sanders' attitude after not so great game in a loss this previous Sunday.
He's got the same attitude every single day, which you expect from quarterbacks. You have to, in this league, be able to turn the page after a loss. You got to be able to turn the page after a win. You can't take that previous game with you, and I think he does a great job of that.
So, and I use this to point out all of the people who had such negative things to say about Shedeur's character. Not necessarily about Shedeur Sanders, the football player, but that the fact that he throws teammates under the bus, he can't take accountability, he's so delusional, and all these other things. It never made sense to me, because in reality, Shedeur Sanders is one of his biggest critics, and these are some of the things that he said about some of the progress and some of the things that he's been seeing over the last week.
Just kept playing. That's progress. Of course, it's not the result we want to do, and I definitely take that to heart, because I understand when I play winning football and when I don't. So it's kind of like understanding that, evaluating that, and just moving forward.
Shedeur, when teams are...
So, he was asked about, the things that he learned in a loss. And obviously a lot of people talk about so much, different things that can be learned when you lose in a football game. And in that, he acknowledges it, and he always acknowledges it, right? He always acknowledges that, like, hey, today might have not been my best day. Hey, I wasn't playing winning football. I need to evaluate that. And the only thing that I got better on today was that taking that next step. And that's my thing. That is what summarizes Shedeur Sanders. He's just like this. It's always like this. Now, this might come with a you know what I'm saying? And, he might check the wristwatch on you every time he can, but that's always that's just who he is. He enjoys football and is very expressive. When Phillip Rivers is very expressive, we call it lots of flair and gamerhood mentality. That's the type of guy Shedeur Sanders is. Dog, he don't need to be playing football. Like y'all, all y'all people, and I think that's why people don't like him. That's probably another reason. Shedeur Sanders does not need to be playing football. I gotta be honest with y'all. He doesn't need to be being a 5th round pick. He doesn't need to be answering this meet. He doesn't need to be striving his hardest to bring success to a team and a franchise that's never had it. Whether he does it and succeeds, or whether he doesn't succeed. It has a lot of different factors. And one of those factors is Shedeur, and he constantly addresses it, and it constantly accepts some of the shortcomings of that. Now, I do want to talk about this because Shedeur has faced a lot of pressure since stepping into the NFL, and a lot of people have been noticing it.
I'm just excited that I'm able to get everybody's best. I'm excited about that. That makes me feel proud. That I have that. I'm just getting in the league and my feet settled and everything, so I get excited knowing I'm able to face those challenges, because you gotta understand this year right here, this the worst it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this the foundation. This is where I'm building from. This is where I'm understanding different things. This is where everything's translating for me. So I'm excited about it. I'm extremely excited about it because I know we're gonna get them. I know we're going to get him eventually.
So, and this is what makes me gravitate towards Shedeur Sanders, man. I got to be honest with you. Like, I hate seeing him have bad games. Like, it sucks. It really does. But to see him respond in this way, he's still smiling, dog. Like, y'all not gonna make him lose his smile. Y'all not gonna make him lose the swagger. Y'all not gonna make him lose anything, because he is just who he is at all points and all times. And the fact that he finds a way to be like, hey, I like that. I like that I'm getting put in the fire right now. This is what needs to happen. This is how I truly grow. Right? These are how I make those big mistakes to hopefully make even larger corrections for betterment. So this is the mentality, the attitude that I think Kevin Stefanski is addressing and speaking of. And again, it doesn't end there, right? He doesn't just tied to these specific things. Again, this is somebody who has a passion for winning football games for the Cleveland Browns specifically.
I'm not really looking in the numbers, I'm looking in the wins, so that achieves everything. I talked to Jameis like a couple weeks ago, and then he went crazy. He threw for some crazy yards, but he was like, nah, bro, like, the most important thing is the wins, and having that guidance, having that knowledge, from a vet like him, it truly like helped me understand, a little bit more, I always knew, of course, winning, and that's the final goal. That's what everybody's in this league to do. So, you just got to focus on that, and the more plays you stack, the more completions you rack up, the better chance you have at winning. So, have I been playing winning football lately? Nah, I don't think so. But it's something I have self-evaluated and apply to my game.
In that right there, man, like this, I just want y'all to know, man. Y'all can say y'all don't like the foot. Like I said, dog, there's nothing I can do to convince you. If you're a stats and analytics type of guy, hey, you're gonna feel the way that you feel about Shedeur. That's just how it is, right? And we're gonna get into some of those because Daniel Ofusi wrote a great piece. Now, this is our guy, Daniel, but he's gonna be honest about some things in the truth and reality of the Shedeur situation, or in his playing time. Is that there's been some ups, there's some downs, there's been some great moments, there's been some not so great moments, and this is a guy that in the Browns media that anybody, if you're a Shedeur fan, you should trust wherever he goes. If he goes up to bigger and better places, XYZ. He's just kept it extremely fair for both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, and that's something that is very important to me when I get my news. Having impartiality, y'all know me, I'm biased. I'm just a big foreheaded dude, but for someone who's actually in the media doing this stuff, Daniel does a phenomenal job. So we're gonna read that. But winning is the goal. Shedeur Sanders isn't playing winning football. I addressed that I'm not playing winning football. Hey, I need to do these things better. You're never gonna sell me this lie that Shedeur Sanders was rubbing people off the wrong way, unless it was the wrong people. I agree he was rubbing the wrong people the wrong way. That's why Brian Daboll's fired, right? That's why Brian Callahan is fired. Like, no disrespect. That's why a lot of the head coaches that were picking in the top 5, top 10 in that situation, they're gone. They're gone or on the hot seat already. It's not a coincidence. There isn't this mind-blowing thing. I'm not gonna tell you what it was, because I for the love of me, I don't know what it was. But there's so many things to label Shedeur Sanders as. And I want y'all to know, if y'all just kept it about football, Shedeur wouldn't have the fan base he had. If y'all kept it about holding the ball too long and yada yada yada, screen pass, if y'all kept it just at football and tried to not lie and say, oh well, he has a bad attitude. Oh, he doesn't know how to take account. I remember somebody said, and we'll go back at some point, you know what I'm saying, when I'm back at my full force. They said Shedeur Sanders just he lacks, or was it not self-accountability? Well, self-accountability. I think is what it's called. Sometimes I'll be forgetting stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. But the ability to look at yourself in the mirror, to understand, hey, what you can do, what your limitations are, X, Y, Z, and every single day, and every time they put a camera in his face when he's not responding to Rex Ryan, he demonstrates a humility. I remember early on, because again, I know these people don't actually watch all this stuff. They just want to allow the media to perceive certain ways. Again, we've been watching since the preseason. I remember in the preseason he got there, they asked him about, not being named the starting quarterback. Hey, how you feel about that? You know what he said? He said, hey, it just means I got extra time to cook. I'm grateful for the situation. They brought him in rookie minicamp, and they say, Shedeur Sanders, what do you want to do to prove the haters wrong? He said, I'm not proving nothing to anybody. I'm proving myself right. I for the love of God, I just don't know what somebody having the utmost confidence in themselves, accepting accountability when they're not playing good football. Last week he gave you specific things about, hey, I need to do that. I need to step in the pocket. I need to get rid of the ball a little sooner. I need to do these things. He's giving you actionable things, and from those first 3 weeks there was positive and continuous upgrades. I'm not giving up on him. I can't give up on somebody like this who doesn't seem to give up. And like I've said for the longest time, the career of an NFL quarterback, as Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, all these other people that have gotten the second chance. Shout out Danny Dimes. I hope you recover greatly. For real though, like, God, that sucks. I hope Danny Dimes gets back to where he needs to be. But the life of a quarterback, like, I hope y'all don't think, unless Shedeur just, again, it says, I'm done with it, I can go make more money out here. If Shedeur stays as passionate as I know him to be in football, even if it don't work with the Browns, he gonna get even more time. He gonna learn how to be even better. I'm telling y'all. I'm not, you can't give up on somebody who holds themselves to that standard, who continues to bring different ways and holds himself accountable and holds himself to really good standards. And that's something great. And then more importantly, being linked up with Jameis Winston right now. Jameis Winston, he's had his history, right? Whether it's with crab legs and or certain allegations. My chat let me know that at one point. So we gotta know Jameis is no saint, but we love Jameis at the same time. Hope the life has been turned around. We know the type of person he is. And when you speak about adversity, I don't think there's anybody else better to talk to than Jameis Winston. That's one of the reasons why I had to start believing in Jackson Dart. Again, y'all know I hate Ole Miss quarterbacks, but if Jameis Winston is saying the things about Jackson Dart, maybe he's not too bad. Maybe it's not too bad. And I love the fact that, Jameis Winston offers that guidance to Shedeur Sanders. It takes that another step, another level to see the different people who want to reach out, who want him to be great. And these NFL greats don't want you to be great. And I know Jameis Winston is more of a great personality, but a legend in football. Again, national championship winner, Heisman Trophy winner, right? Some of the most exciting football of all time. When you have those people reaching out, mentoring, taking the next step, like I have to assume with the time and the attitude that Shedeur Sanders continuously puts out, that only great things are going to happen. Now, let's read something real quick from our guy Daniel. He wrote a little situation here. And again, Daniel, this is how stamped Daniel is. He's so stamped when Shedeur went out to the Cleveland Browns, or not the Cleveland Browns, to the what's it called? The Cleveland apartment that there was a gas fire at, and he went and gave back to the community. Guess the only media member, right? It wasn't Tony Grossi, it wasn't Tony Rizzo, it wasn't Mary Kay Cabot. Daniel was there taking pictures. So shout out to him. He's a real deal one, right? So Shedeur Sanders has experienced his highs and lows that come with being a rookie quarterback. In just 4 starts of the Cleveland Browns 2025 season, Week 14, he accounted for 393 total yards and 4 touchdowns in 31-29 loss to the Tennessee Titans. That proved to be the best game of his young career. A week later, Sanders had his worst game as a pro, throwing 3 interceptions in Cleveland's 31-3 loss to the Chicago Bears. Sanders will make his 5th career start Sunday when the Browns host the Buffalo Bills. At his best, he has been an accurate downfield passer with playmaking ability. At his worst, he has been a tentative processor who is still adjusting to the NFL defenses and has a propensity to hold on to the ball too long. In every situation, it's always going to be the thing that you want to work on, things that you want to get better on. Sanders saying after the loss, after the Bears, I think that's where I'm headed. I'm in the learning and understanding phase of this game, and and how things are. Signs of Sanders' improvements. Since making his first start in Week 12, Sanders ranks 30th out of 32 qualifying passers in total QBR, 22.9. He has thrown for 899 yards and 5 touchdowns, bringing plenty of big plays to a dormant offense. Sanders has recorded 7 completions on deep passes, attempts that travel at least 20 air yards. In his first 4 starts, for comparison this season, Joe Flacco had 4 completions on deep passes in 4 starts of the Browns, while Dylan Gabriel had 2 completions on deep passes in 6 starts. So Shedeur Sanders has 7 completions on deep pass. That boy gonna slang it, man. Coaches have praised improvement in Sanders' footwork and pocket presence that have led to his execution as a passer. The overall improvement of our footwork and our understanding what footwork applies to what concepts or ability to work through progressions. Browns offensive coordinator Tyrone Reese said last week, and he's put a lot of work in these few weeks to get ready to play these games. And you can see the steps in progress, which is again what you're after when you're a young player, which is I already said that. What you're after with all your young players is that they are coachable and they are applying some of the things that you're trying to ask of them, and he's shown that. And obviously, he played a nice game for us against the Titans. It really had some plays that showed those signs that he's improving in those areas. While Sanders opened up Cleveland's passing games at times, he has had his fair share of mistakes. After a trio of interceptions, it was 2. Let's be honest. Jerry Jeudy threw one of them things. Sanders has thrown 5 since becoming the starter in Week 12. I think you'll learn from all those, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said Monday. And at times you tip your cap to the defense and you say they made a play. And other times you talk to the quarterback and, hey, could be footwork, could be who you're keying, could be decision, all those things. I do think you have to give them credit and say they're making plays. But I think how we coach our guys is, hey, next time we did it, here's some things that we would do differently. Offensive woes continue. The insertion of Sanders into the starting lineup hasn't been enough to lift up one of the NFL's worst offenses. In Sanders' 4 starts, the Browns are averaging 16 points per game. Cleveland averaged 16.2 per game in the previous 10 games. The issues on offense have been widespread. So this is the full story, right? The Browns' revolving door at offensive line has continued. The team has used 3 different starting O-line combinations since Week 12. Let me just, it's about to be Week 15. Week 16? So the team has already used 3 different starting lineups since Week 12. Just want to make sure we get that out there. And has used 9 different combinations this season. Lord have mercy. Good luck, Fernando. Cleveland hasn't been able to run the ball consistently either. Especially since Sanders became the starter. The Browns ranked 20th in ESPN's run block win rate, defined as how often an offensive lineman successfully holds onto his block on designated plays since Week 12. Cleveland also ranks 30th in both rushing yards per game and success rate on designed rushes during that time frame. As far as pass protection, the Browns rank 4th in pass block win rate since Week 12, but Sanders has still been under duress, a byproduct of mistakes along the offensive line and his own doing. Sanders has faced a pressure on 43.9% of his dropbacks since Week 12, a mark that only trails Los Angeles quarterback Chargers, I don't know why I said it like that, Justin Herbert. According to Next Gen Stats, Sanders has faced 17 quick pressures since Week 12, tied for 11th most in the league. speed. Quick pressures are defined as dropbacks where the pass rush affects the quarterback before the pass is thrown in under 2.5 seconds. Sanders also has faced 14 unblocked quarterback pressures since week 12, tied with Titans rookie Cam Ward for the second most in the NFL. Unblocked pressures are defined as pressures on dropbacks where the pass rusher does not encounter any blockers over the course of the play. The full story is, like many rookies, Shedeur Sanders is growing and getting better. He knows he needs to grow and get better, but that offensive line in a multitude of metrics, and I think something that I want to harp on, the running game. There has been no running game somehow since Shedeur Sanders has got the starting mold. But at the same time, hey, Shedeur's got something to clean up. He knows he's got to do that. It's going to be a big learning experience, a learning curve. All I ask is for the Browns fans, can you give him a chance? Just give him a shot. We love Fernando Mendoza, but give 12 a chance, man. Get your offensive line. But y'all let me know how y'all feel down below. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content. If you're here live, don't go nowhere. But y'all be great, beautiful, crispy, all that. We'll see you next time. Peace. All right. One Shedeur Sanders. Next thing we're gonna talk about Fernando Mendoza in this next one. Then we're going to talk about Fernando Mendoza. The reporters ask unintelligent questions. How do you know Jameis? How do I know Jameis? I don't. Oh, are you talking about what they were asking? Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yes, that Jameis question was dumb. I didn't know the Jameis question. I didn't hear them. They asked another Jameis question. I must have missed it. I thought he was just like he just said that he knew Jameis was dumb. Maybe I'm tripping. I wonder if Browns will play Deshaun next year. That would be interesting. Craig said Mendoza's work at Cal versus IU is the system and weaponry. He's good, but slow as molasses in winter. 12 did more with less O-line 2 years running. Like with DG, you're getting a false positive. Interesting. I like that. Yeah, I do want to close this out, and I'm going to talk about this in this video. I do think it's hard to judge. Even Dylan Gabriel. Oh, $9.99. I appreciate that. He says, Tings, I'm tired of people saying Josh Allen would make the Browns offense good. Josh is a finished product. Rookie Josh wouldn't look any better than rookie Shedeur. So I'm so happy you brought that up. Not because of anything Shedeur related, because I am like an OG Josh Allen. First off, thank you so much for the $10. You're going to get one of these right here. You feel me? Appreciate that. And just for good measure.
It get dangerous.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Speaking about that, Josh Allen, actually, I don't even know why I'm yapping to you. Let me pull up Josh Allen's. I'm going to pull up Josh Allen's rookie stat. I am an original Josh Allen hater, and it's because I really wanted Josh Allen to be good coming out of Wyoming. However, in his rookie season, this boy threw so many picks. And for his first 3 weeks, all Josh Allen did was throw interceptions. Let me see. All Josh Allen did in his first few years is throw interceptions. So 2018, he started off with 12 interceptions and 10 touchdowns. Now, he only played 12 games, to be fair, so that's all good. And then, 2019 cleans it up. And then after that, double-digit interceptions. Oh, my God, he threw 18 interceptions in 2023. I was just going to say the early days. My God. But, yeah, I always had a problem with Josh Allen because of the turnovers. 10 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. That's Tony Romo numbers, dog. Then you got the 20-9, which is you improve. 37-10. There you go. Those are numbers. 36-15. Okay, this is not even that bad. And then 29-18. That's Jameis Winston level, and he has already thrown 10 interceptions this year to 25 touchdowns. I don't know how we've allowed Josh Allen to get off the hook on being a turnover guy. He turns the ball over. That's what he does. They would be silly not to give 12 a shot with all they need. How is this not a move? A quarterback, not their biggest issue anymore. Mendoza will struggle. I think anybody's going to struggle. And that's the thing. I've said that for a while. Just imagine if Shedeur would have had an O-line like the rest of the quarterbacks would have been nice. Rookie Josh had like 86 yards in his 5th start, no touchdowns and an interception. Josh was ass until Diggs got there. Josh was just a running quarterback pre-Diggs. And shout out to Stephon Diggs. That's another player. I hate the way people talk about Stephon Diggs. I guess just because, what he does outside of football. But when you think about it, he goes and he has young quarterbacks, and those young quarterbacks have success. Whether it's, Teddy Bridgewater early on in Minnesota, then Buffalo. He has a young Josh Allen that he makes the process easier for him. Then C.J. Stroud in his 2nd year makes the process easier for him. Like, it's almost like having a better offensive line and better receivers, better weapons. It allows your young quarterbacks to do more with the football. It's almost like that's the case. You know what I mean? And of course, and we don't have to get into the offensive line ratings, but I mean, he has one of the better offensive lines in the NFL in Deion Dawkins, right? So, we ain't got to get too detailed on it. Shedeur sounded like he got some positive news today. He seems to have something lift off his shoulders. I'm not sure, but by the way, nephew Tings, okay. Tings even made Kirk Cousins get, Kirk Cousins. Shout out Kirk O'Change. Diggs is still him, by the way. He is still him. I don't like the way people try to talk about Stephon Diggs. But speaking of, because I think all that conversation leads into this video perfectly, right? Because so many Browns fans are arguing with each other. Browns media is arguing with each other on, can Mendoza fix the Browns' problems? And I don't think Tom Brady could fix the Browns' problem. But let's take it here from Tony Rizzo. We're also going to take a look at how great the offensive line has been performing on some bad reps, and then get detailed into, can Mendoza really save the Browns? But let's hear it, Tony Rizzo. What should the Browns do, or should they build around Shedeur Sanders?
Tony said something yesterday that I liked that he said it.
Yeah.
He goes, if they would have developed him like you wanted them to, like, I'm talking the minute you get in the building, we're building around you as the like they did with Cam Ward.
Right.
Like they did with Jackson Dart. My kid's as good as those guys. Come on. I'm sorry. I think he is. Is he a finished product? No. Does he hold the ball? Yeah. Does he have a lot of work to do? Yeah. But the clay, the mold is there. That's what I see. Now, it's what's around you. Who's going to be his coach next year? What kind of offense are we running? How are they going to fix the O-line and get me a wide receiver? These are all questions I need answered before I can even tell you if Shedeur could be a franchise.
I appreciate Tony Rizzo. I know I started to get a little bit suspicious of Tony Rizzo, but he's been throwing it down the middle the whole time, man. I appreciate him because, this is. And by the way, as a caveat, I'll be digging in them Cleveland Browns streets. I've learned that a lot of these Browns fans, they don't take Albert Breer serious. They don't take Mary Kay serious. They don't take Tony Rizzo serious. So just so y'all know, the Browns fans, they don't take the Browns media serious. I want to let Browns fans know nobody knows that. Like, I got everyone who's not in Cleveland, they don't know that. So these are your representations of the Browns media. And here is what apparently Tony Rizzo is hearing, because again, like I tell y'all, and it's very important. I want to remember y'all. Whenever those leaks that Rex Ryan was saying that Shedeur's not working hard or he's not going to league, because I don't forget that stuff. You know what wasn't reported? Tony Grossi didn't report it. Mary Kay Cabot didn't report it. Tony Rizzo never reported it, right? They have inside information, and they never leaked once that Shedeur wasn't doing what he's supposed to. Only person is Rex Ryan just pulling it out of his ass, right? However, Tony Rizzo's people say this.
I'm hearing that the Browns are leaning towards taking a quarterback in the April draft.
Weapons. If you give him a coach that is going to, I don't know,
God.
put.
First off, thank you so much, Eddie Week, with the $10. Here's you with one of these. Here's you with one of these. And here's you with one of these. I would answer your question, but you didn't ask the question. So I'm just going to get back to recording the video.
Put them in good spots. I think they can win.
So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the thought process of this, that, you know, hey, we can put them in a good spot. But again, I give you all those warnings because I want you to know that if Tony Rizzo is hearing that, We know he's a pro Shedeur guy. He's been rocking with Shedeur since the preseason. He's been fighting Tony Grossi. Now, all of a sudden, Tony Grossi is a pro Shedeur guy. I don't know what happened, right? All that happened, and now he's sadly reporting that the Browns are thinking about drafting a quarterback. Now, again, a lot of people want Fernando Mendoza. We're going to talk about that because, he's highly touted. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. I think he's the only Heisman Trophy winner in like the last quarterback in the last 10, 20 years to throw for under 29 or 3,000 yards and less than like 35 touchdowns or something like that. However, the character, the type of guy he is, the Cleveland Browns clearly going to love it. Kevin Stefanski, if somehow he keeps his job, they're going to love them some Fernando Mendoza. So I thought this TikTok was pretty interesting because it highlights, what the offensive line for the Browns does best. Let's see it.
The Browns have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, but the one player that stands out on tape is their left tackle, Cam Robinson. He's currently ranked the 79th tackle out of 83 on PFF, and frankly, he's just not very good. Just watch him on this play. He's going up against Pro Bowler Montez Sweat, and Sweat used a one-arm bull rush on Robinson, but watch him get driven back and fully turned around so far that he falls right into...
I'm sorry. I've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of football.
One-arm bull rush on Robinson.
What is going on right here? Hey, what's going on, Nisokwa? Key 2K, start over. I can't start over, man. Boomer Sooner. Oh! How dare you? But what's going on, Nisokwa? What's going on, K? I can't start over, but we are talking about Mendoza. And we're talking about how I don't know what much can fix the Browns moving forward. And you got your look at this, man. This is he gets paid millions of dollars to play football. Look at him. Look how.
But watch him.
Look, man. It looked like somebody's tickling him under the armpit. Look like somebody jumped out of a haunted house on him. He went from crossing his feet. He can't have a base. He can't stand. He can't do nothing.
Get driven back and
look. He using Shedeur. How you gonna use Shedeur as the? Robinson, come on, dog. Hey, some people's offensive line, some of them they help them up, right? If our guy Wyatt Teller was in there, shout out to Big Wyatt Teller that for some reason still is dealing with a calf injury after this terrible offensive line play after being the highest graded offensive lineman, right? The last game he played, randomly got benched, randomly not playing anymore, right? But guess who is playing? A grown man getting pirouetted in the NFL. Hey, a grown man leaning on Shedeur. You gonna help Shedeur get sacked, son? My God, and he got hit by 15 people. Lord have mercy.
He turned around so far that he falls right into Shedeur. And Montez Sweat kept abusing the same move on Cam Robinson throughout the game. And every time it resulted in him getting driven back. But he's also not very good against the speed rush as well. Just watch him get his hands swiped right off the line and he gets beat right away. So Shedeur immediately steps up in the pocket and buys time to find Judy near the sideline. And for once, he actually catches it. And then on this play, he gets beat again right away by overextending too far and he gives up the inside. He's also very bad in the run game as well. Watch him attempt to chip on this defensive tackle but touch straight air. Then he goes to the second level to block the linebacker.
Okay. And this is what I be look. I'm not the Shedeur. I'm a Shedeur Stan Lieutenant, Glazer Lieutenant. I get it. I'm not going to say that Shedeur is Tom Brady already or whatever. No, he's got work to do, but I think he has the talent to be a great quarterback in the NFL. So when I say stuff like, yo, this is one of the worst offensive lines from a statistical standpoint, and then an on-field product standpoint, dog, I want to highlight something. We're going to watch this lazy-ass football that I'm watching. But the bigger thing is, dog, the run game has been abysmal since Shedeur started. And I'm not saying that's, to absolve Shedeur. I'm saying that if the NFL is a team sport and, other quarterbacks got to benefit off Quinshon Judkins having 100 yards days. Again, Dylan Sampson was out. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't. Again, they apparently injuries are excuses too. You don't have no run game. Shedeur Sanders has been the leading rusher for the last 2 games off scrambles. The same Shedeur Sanders y'all said it ain't gonna work in the NFL. You can't run in the NFL. He running around in the NFL. He's the leading rusher for your Cleveland Browns for the last 2 weeks. And it has a lot to do with this right here. Look at this. if you don't know, when you're chipping and going to the next level, you gotta hit him in the ribs, dog. And he just kind of whiffs, and then
goes to the second level to block,
and then whiffs again. You whiff on a chip block, and then you whiff on getting the actual linebacker.
But completely.
And guess what? The linebacker makes the tackle. If Cam Robinson makes a play, maybe Quinshawn could have a run for more than 5 yards. It's ridiculous.
Misses. And then that same linebacker makes a tackle on Judkins. And then on this play, they have him pulling on this outside zone run, but he completely misses his block, which results in Judkins getting stuffed in the back.
Dog, look at this.
This is
he's how do we defend this, man? But it's Shedeur's fault, right? Look, Shedeur didn't play great. Shedeur said he didn't play great. Nobody gonna deny that. But it's hard to play great when everybody else is playing like dog water, right? You had dog. This is Cedric. This is a wide receiver. Cedric Tillman held this block better. Look at that. He slowed him up a little bit, and then you overcommit on the block. And guess who makes the tackle? Guess that there's no lane out here for him to drag this out. My God.
Backfield. He's on the last year of his contract, so this should be the last year he's on the Browns. But the Browns need to definitely upgrade their offensive line in the offseason because it's pretty bad right now.
Last year. Who's the only player that's free against Shedeur on this? Guess who? The guy on the opposite side of the play that completely just gets... So, Fernando gonna help y'all? Is Fernando Mendoza gonna fix this? Please tell me how Fernando fixes this. Mary Kay, tell me.
You said they were on a fact-finding mission for the quarterback. What facts have we figured out?
I think that it's still a work in progress. I think that Shedeur Sanders in this past game, I think he took a step back. I think that he really probably gave the Browns pause in terms of thinking about whether or not he could be their guy at the beginning of next year. Not that that they don't want to still obviously develop him, but it wasn't a game in which he built upon what he did the week before to say, hey, yes, I can absolutely be the guy. It was a game that you have to look at and say, okay, we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to see more. We have to see what he can do in these final 3 starts before we know whether or not we need to draft a quarterback in the first round of the draft.
So, it's interesting because literally on Monday, and maybe she has new sources. On Monday, after the 3 interceptions, Mary Kay put out that, still pretty confident that, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the guy. Last week, after the 4 touchdown performance, Mary Kay said, I don't know if Shedeur's going to be that. So I just find it interesting, like how things are flip-flopping. And then now we get to Thursday, and this was on Wednesday actually, or Tuesday. Tuesday. And now she's singing something completely different. It's hard to believe all of that is going in the same place. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. But this is what I want to do. I don't want to get ahead of myself when I say this. It's hard to take, and I guess this is why some of the Browns people don't take certain people seriously. Everything is propaganda. Like everything that Mary Kay is saying, all these things, the way that she's setting these different conversations up, right? She's easing into something, right? And this makes these last 3 games for Shedeur so much more critical, and not on his development, because it's messed up to not fully develop. Because I think Tony Rizzo made a great point. We're gonna get into a little bit about Fernando Mendoza, right? And my not issue, but the conversation with Rizzo was one in which he said such a great point where it was like, hey, if Shedeur got to be developed in the same way that Cam Ward got, and this has been my biggest thing, and that's why I'm still a big Cam Ward guy. I think he's gonna be great. But if Cam Ward got the same attention that Shedeur Sanders had, and we're judging him off his first 3 starts, go back and look at Cam Ward's first 3 starts. It's ugly. It's rough. And it's not just, oh, he doesn't have, which is true. I want to make sure I get this because I'm a big Cam Ward guy. His team around him is pretty bad. His offensive line is not bad. I think in PFF ranks, there's like 10. They're like typically 10 spots ahead of the Browns. But his wide receivers are awful. And shout out to Alec Ayomanor. I finally figured out how to say her name. I like Alec Ayomanor. I think he's a dog out of Stanford. However, it hasn't been a lot of bright spots. Was it Ridley? Ridley's out. Like there's not a lot of great going on for the wide receiver situation over there, right? But even with that being said, Cam Ward had a fumbling problem like early on in the season. He would just drop the ball, multiple fumbles given away. Like that is not a great mark of credit. People were trying to call him a bust in the Titans media, calling him a bust. Now that's not fair, but it's also not fair to judge Shedeur on these types of things. And that's the way an element that, you know, Tony Rizzo was embarking. If he was given the chance as the number one guy, it doesn't matter if Cam Ward had a 3 interception. He's the first round pick. You know, that goes to being the different level of pick. It doesn't really matter if he fumbles the ball twice doing the same. It doesn't matter. Cam Ward, you got to fix. Like, we are behind you. And then not only that, we're behind you in the preseason. We were building an offense around you. We were implementing with the world and the thought process that you're going to be playing. It has been openly leaked that Shedeur Sanders, the plan was for him to never play this year. So how can I think, and this goes back to last week's conversation, because when he had a good game, everybody wanted Kevin Stefanski to get the credit. And my question is, how can I credit somebody whose goal was to not start him? I'm supposed to be looking at somebody in Shedeur Sanders who was never looked at as to start. So I have to presume he wasn't, that it would just be dumb if you're not going to start somebody to put the resources in him like he's going to start. So of course he wasn't getting the same development. Of course he wasn't getting the same attention, not even as a first round pick, but not even as somebody who was going to be playing football this year. And I'm supposed to expect that with less development, less time, less weapons, less running game, that is what I'm supposed to bind my evaluation of Shedeur Sanders as. I just don't believe it. Now, luckily, I really truly believe the way of the quarterback is just, you just show enough spark and someone's going to give you a chance. I think Shedeur, even if it doesn't work out with the Browns, let's say, knock on wood, he has some more bad games, blah, blah, blah. I think that it's a long career. And, you might have to sit for a second, do what he do, find a team that really believes in. But that's what it really is about. It's about getting a team that believes. Because if they get old Fernando Mendoza, I'm sure they're gonna believe this. This guy made for Cleveland. All high. A Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza shares how he mentally prepares for a high pressure moment. Hey, them Cleveland media gonna love him, boy.
This is a visualization. One of the big things you visualize, like especially in those pressure moments. So when all the adrenaline and cortisol runs through your body, you recognize it, and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna let this affect me. Because it's like fight or flight. You don't want to. A lot of people get scared in the big moment. And there was a couple moments last year that I was like, oh shoot, like I'm in this moment. Like it's just like, hey, when you play, like what are we gonna do? I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
And being with a visualization this year, I'm able to visualize that play. Hey, it's the game-winning play. Let me recognize those feelings, and then I take it in order to not have the flight, but to take all that energy and put it into the fight. And I'm ready for those situations now, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to have this season.
They gonna love Fernando Mendoza. And I want to say this, I think Fernando Mendoza is an absolute baller. I like him. I've been watching him since Cal. Go back and watch the Cal versus Cal versus Miami. It's on ACC. Please, phenomenal game, 2024. Cam Ward's football games that he played, him and Shedeur Sanders played the most exciting football games of their entire career. You have to go watch it. It's awesome. But not the point. The point is, I like Fernando Mendoza. I like what he's about. I like his attitude. I like him representing for his Hispanic culture. Like, everything about Fernando Mendoza is great, and he is definitely that very squeaky clean type vibe that I think Cleveland, that's what they want in their quarterbacks, right? He's not misunderstood. He's not he doesn't have his own, he does have his own little vibration, but it's a whole different way that it's very palatable. That's what I say. It's very, very palatable. But I think he's a ball player, and I think that he can do good. Big summer gun at 6'5". He's made some big time throws. However, is this what y'all want to do? Do y'all want to have a Jackson Dart situation? Let's say, because I think Fernando Mendoza can ball. Let's say Fernando Mendoza goes out there and balls, and Andrew Luck's himself, Jackson Dart's himself, Jaden Daniels himself. I have a running theory amongst the Kings universe, and it's that quarterbacks, and I know there's a list of them that have done great. I know I'm not saying every single one. There's some quarterbacks that can do it. That's why there's anomalies, there's outliers, and Fernando Mendoza might be that guy. But what I don't like is throwing these young, talented quarterbacks, Jackson Dart, Jaden Daniels, RG3, and running them into the ground for phenomenal rookie seasons. Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, maybe great early seasons. But in time, their bodies break down. Joe Burrow, right? And it's nothing to do other than them taking hit after hit after hit. I think, look, let's say Fernando Mendoza is the savior. He wins y'all games. He really starts doing it, but he just keeps getting smacked because y'all haven't built the offensive line. And he Joe Burrows himself. He Andrew Luck's himself. Why do these young quarterbacks, in which we're seeing the Sam Darnolds of the world, the Geno Smiths of the world, these other quarterbacks that have made quarterbacking a long career, why do we have to look at Cam Newton's? Phillip Rivers, my God, he's like 7,000 years old. Why do we have to subjugate? Even if you like Fernando Mendoza and you're a Browns fan, you should still be begging the Browns to fix the offensive line. This is my point. It's not that Fernando Mendoza is not a baller. It's not that he's not going to be great. A shout out to him for winning the Heisman. And by the way, he posted on LinkedIn. I think that's fresh. I think he's fresh, man. I think people make fun of him, but he's fresh, dog.
I want to give all the glory to God.
Okay.
We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches,
222, 15 for 23.
we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
Hey. He's got that sting that you want, man. He's got that thing that you want, man. That this is what the Cleveland media, they're asking me, what do you mean by he's palatable? You know what I mean by he's palatable, man. The Cleveland, Ohio people, they don't gotta think too long about his intentions. You feel me? He makes Cleveland, Ohio people very comfortable. He's the good old American style, even though he's part Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? He's a nerd. He's a self-admitted nerd, right? He's squeaky clean, right? The image is different. Oh no. He self-admits himself as a nerd. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. But that's good. Like that's fresh. I'm not here to do anything like that because I like the Shedeurs. I like the nerd. I don't like Diego Pavia though. But that's not the point. But I like Fernando Mendoza. I do think that the way that he is, the media is not going to try to do them games. You feel what I'm saying? The media don't got a lot of ammo to play them games with him. But that's not the point. The point is, if you like Fernando Mendoza and I like Fernando Mendoza, there is no way you put him behind that offensive line. If you do, you don't like Fernando Mendoza. You actually don't like him. So let's get that straight. If you want him to lead your Browns, you better hope you have enough picks to get a tackle, a guard, a center, a guard, and another tackle. Because all of those Browns offensive linemen are either old, injured, and or their contract is going to expire. This is what I mean by they might not even have the choice. They might not even have the choice to pick a quarterback. It's going to cost them a lot, and it's going to cost them enough that they're not going to be able to get an offensive lineman for a while. So think about that. Shout out Fernando Mendoza. Congratulations on the Heisman, and shout out to you for representing you and your people, the nerds and Hispanic people, because that's a beautiful thing. It should be great. If you like this video, like it. If you don't, dislike it. Subscribe if you like football content. All that does in between. Y'all be great. See you next time. Peace. All right, now if you're live, stay here. Stay right here. Hispanic is not American. What's the question mark? You can be a Hispanic American. What are you talking about? Look at Mendoza's season stats and look at Shedeur last season. Nah, man, cause they gonna think I'm making excuses. He threw for like 2,900 yards and he had like 25 touchdowns or 33 touchdowns. Not a very impressive Heisman season, but he won a lot of football games. So expired things. No O linemen are under contract. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Trey Shedeur and the black fans will forever forget the Cleveland Browns and follow Shedeur. I don't think so. There's definitely some people who are diehard Browns fans. You have to understand, Browns fans are deeply. They've gone through a lot of stuff. Like they have dealt with a lot. Okay, I'm about to just talk to the chat for a second. While I do it, I want y'all to pick the next game. We're either gonna do Colorado transfer, or we're gonna do Tua benched. But let me. I'm gonna talk to the chat. Y'all pop the poll real quick. Let me know what we're doing next. All right. Close the poll, dog. I'm trying to see the. Okay, cool. OPG Taylor, G Willikers. Okay. Mendoza isn't a better quarterback than Shedeur. Definitely not a better college quarterback. Just statistically, he's not. But I get it. He won the Heisman. But the Heisman stats are very underwhelming. So, they're already mad at him for speaking Spanish at his Heisman ceremony. I hope they're not. If y'all mad at him for speaking, I mean, come on, dog. Like, how can you be more cleaner than a whistle than him? Like, his last name is Mendoza. Like, and then Dante Moore is the other one. Like, y'all gonna have to figure it out. Y'all have to figure it out. Mendoza has never run for his life, and his system will go into shock. I think it's going to be a shock going into the Browns. I think any quarterback is going into a shock playing for the Browns, dog. So Shedeur got a win for the Browns to not take him. Browns have enough picks. I don't know what are you asking the question? Yeah, Shedeur definitely does have to win enough games for the Browns to not pick him. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but they're going to have 2 first-round picks. But the problem is, like, you're not going to have enough. I don't see a way where you're going to be able to trade up into the top 5 or top 3. Because, I mean, I think the Titans might be picking number 1 overall. We might have to look at it. But they're going to have to trade at least both of those picks. They're going to have to get out of the first. Like, I don't see a world where they can stay in the first round unless they give up a 2027. But I don't know. They're going to have to give up a lot and then hope that an offensive lineman, a top tier tackle, or is there at the end of the first round. It doesn't. I wouldn't bet on that. I wouldn't bet on it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't. I don't know if you can say token white boy because he's Hispanic, but also that word was made for non-white people. Token. But anyway, good boy vibe for sure. Definitely good boy vibe. You said all-American. Then you corrected yourself and said he's Hispanic. Oh, okay. So what I mean is it's an all-American vibe. Like, you look at him, it's like, oh, that's him. You know what I mean? Clean American dude. But if you get into his actual, lineage, he said it himself. He's Hispanic. He's proud of that. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to allow our young people to be comfortable in their own skin. Another shut up and be humble. And dribble, that's my take. Yeah, I do want everybody to enjoy themselves. You need to do a video about Jay on Ultimate Sports Show today. What did Jay on Ultimate? What happened? Man, the climate. It really isn't about black versus white fans. Sanders has a lot of fans. Yeah. I mean, it's about what it's really about if you believe in the behavior politics, right? If you believe that someone has to look a certain way, because that's what it comes out. It's not and that's why, and that's another reason I never use the R word. Like I don't talk about that because it's not really about black versus white versus it's not about that. It's about the way you carry yourself. Because they ain't got a problem with Cam Ward, right? Cam Ward comes from a regular working humble family. He was a 0-star. He's an underdog story that had to grind his way to the top. People like that. That's what they want, though, right? It's harder to relate to Shedeur Sanders. And I've talked about that. That's why I think a lot of people also don't like him, right? Because it's easy to misconstrue what he's got going on. You feel what I'm saying? All things will be exposed in 2026. The Browns need to draft a line, a big tight end, and a big tight end and faster end. They have a quarterback and running back talent. They definitely have running back talent, and I'm hoping Shedeur shows all the quarterback talent because I think he's a talented guy. But it's not up to me. It's about what the Browns see. You feel me? So that's the real question. Shedeur's college stats are much better than Mendoza's college stats, and Shedeur should have been a Heisman candidate as well. Shedeur finished top 8 in Heisman, but he was in a crazy Heisman race though. Like it was crazy because I mean Ashton Genty was putting up historical numbers. You feel what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, Travis did what he did. People are so black and white that they can't see blatant wrongdoing. Legendary is black, but the stuff they put him through is colorless. Sorry, Tings. It's a sad day all around. But I agree with your comment. Like that's the big thing. Is there color? That's about everything. So it's involved in everything. But at the core of this Shedeur Sanders thing, and that's why I love that Acho got flamed, because it just shows it's not about black and white people. It's not. And when y'all make it, I'm talking about those media people, when y'all try to do it, y'all look stupid, but you also don't get the full point of it, right? Like, again, it's about the behavior politics. And Diego Pavia is, again, he's not black. He going through it right now. They killing Diego Pavia. Now, they ain't killing him like they killed Shedeur, but he's going out wilding. He's flicking off people. He's saying, fuck the Heisman voter. Like, he's wilding. Those are unlikable things. But at the end of the day, like, you know, do you like it or do you not? Do you like Johnny Manziel? Do you like Baker Mayfield? People didn't like Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it comes down to. It's not about black and white. It's deeper than that. It's about who is allowed to do what. You feel what I'm saying? I know it's about the culture and connection. There you go. Definitely culture and connection. Sanders being from a wealthy black family, be so deep in the culture is too much for them. That's big. They don't have a problem with Cam because Legendary is taking all the hits for everyone. That could be. That's a really good point. Like there was more attention on Shedeur as a third string quarterback than Cam Ward as a first string quarterback. Now I was making videos because shout out to my man Cam. Aki said there's a deal. Can you toss the appeal? Oh my God! Wait, y'all are y'all rhyming in my chat? What's it called? They definitely have an issue with Ward. Beginning of the season, his coach even called him a thug. Brian Callahan called him a thug? I don't think you're gonna have to link me that. Having another quarterback competition would be rough for the Browns. Yeah, that would be a lot for the Browns. At the core, Shedeur is Stefanski hating Dion. Okay, that could be interesting. That could be interesting take. Interesting idea. I do need to do a Cam Ward video, but I mean, there's not really much to talk about Cam Ward. We talked about Cam Ward. He had a decent game against San Francisco. But yeah, if I do another video another time, it might be a Cam Ward video. Shout out to Cam Ward. But I thought that was interesting. I thought that was super dope. By the way, before I get into it, it looks like Colorado transfer has won. We're gonna do right after we do Colorado transfer. Checking on Coach Brian, we'll go and we'll check on Tua Tagovailoa getting benched for our guy Quinn Ewers. What do you think about wristband gate? I think that the Browns are, like I keep telling y'all, the Browns are just a bad, poorly run team. So it makes sense that they would do something like that. I don't think that it did mess up a drive. He started at the 1, and then after that he didn't have his wrist card in, and then they got a delayed game. They started 1st and 15. So it ultimately did affect the game. However, I don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is, other than, like we've been saying, the Browns are idiots. Like and this isn't new. Like when I say this, that's what's been so annoying. Yes, I'm a Shedeur fan and I'm a stan, but when I say the Browns are just historically terrible, like that's not a hot take. Like that, like I hate when I say that and people are like what? No. They before Shedeur could play football in high school, the Browns have been bad. They've been bad since I was born. Like it's not. This isn't some crazy thing that Shedeur fans think that. No, everybody thinks the Browns are bad. Like they're a poorly ran organization that does dumb stuff. That's what I think about wristband gate. I really just think they're just dumb. They're dumb idiots. Judy Gate would be hilarious. We're in a 5-week Thinius window, seeing what 12 brings to the table. Plus, tape speaks for itself. The Browns are inept, and I want better for the players and the fans. Yeah, I want better for all the players. Like Harold Fannin, they ain't gonna use Harold Fannin, right? If he stays there, my goodness. It's empirically true. The Browns are bad. Go ask Baker Mayfield. I mean, that is what that is. But we're gonna hop into it. Thank y'all again for the donations and everything. We're gonna hop into. We haven't talked about Colorado a lot this season because it's been rough. It's been really, really rough. But if y'all, I don't know how long y'all been watching, but if you've been watching my channel for at least a year, about a year ago this time, I was doing transfer portal videos. Actually, the biggest video on my channel. Yeah, okay, cool. Biggest video on my channel is a transfer portal video, by the way. So this was, I know some people think of me as the Shedeur guy. No. I'm the transfer portal guy. NIL, transfer portal. That was my bag. So, we're here a year later, and I think it's a great time to check back in on the king of the transfer portal, Mr. Deion Sanders. Man, I think this is great. So what we're going to do here is, what's it called? Just check back in. Just check it back in, see what's going on. There have been some big transfers out of Colorado. I was not expecting this one in particular, so I thought it was enough to make a video on it. Okay, last question. How has streaming changed your life? I don't think streaming has changed my life. I don't stream that much. Like if I streamed more, I think I would have a bigger question. I think content creation has definitely changed my life. By the way, this isn't my job. I feel like I've said that before. This isn't my job. This is my side gig. I'm trying to run it up, trying to have a great time. But my actual job does involve content creation. So I would say that content creation has done a lot for me. Mostly been giving me a job where I don't have to go anywhere. I can work from home. I can work from anywhere, right? I went on a few vacations while I was at work. My boss wasn't happy about that, and not my work boss, my boss, my life boss. If you get my gist, you feel me? But yeah, I wouldn't say streaming has changed my life because I haven't really started streaming. When I really start streaming for real, I'll have a better answer for you. Brian Seep, Bernie Kosar, the last 2 eras of Cleveland football. Let that sink in. Let him in. I expected O to leave, honestly, and Draylon. Well, I want to get into it. The reason why I didn't expect Omarion to leave is because I thought he was going to go to the draft. That's why I was surprised. But let's get right into it. I know I make a lot of NFL videos, but my origins are in the transfer portal and covering the king of the transfer portal, Deion Sanders. And he just had one of his biggest losses in the transfer portals. And it's for a reason that you wouldn't be expecting. But first things first, let me give Coach Prime in the gospel of the transfer portal a little bit of time. Let's hear it.
When a guy leaves a program that selected him, picked him, or got him at the portal, he leaves for a multitude of reasons. The number one reason people leave is money. It's not a disdain for staff or disdain for players. It's money. Let's just be honest, man. Let's stop sugarcoating this foolishness, man. That's why most people leave. I admire these guys that want to go for another opportunity, a bigger opportunity, and play for a national championship, but I applaud that. But that's not the number one reason people leave programs.
And I don't think he could be any truer. Now, this is very important and very poignant because of some new transfer portal entries. Now, one that was super crazy to me was Tawik Byard, which is Kevin Byard's brother. But this one was big, not because I didn't think Omarion Miller would leave, because I mean the Buffaloes were 3-9. They had a very rough year. They had a big quarterback controversy coming in, coming out. Julian Lewis staying in. It was a whole situation. But really because I thought Omarion Miller was gonna go to the NFL draft. If y'all remember, Colorado actually had the highest amount of wide receivers drafted from any FBS school in last year's draft. So this was kind of, I wouldn't even say kind of. This has been Deion Sanders' hallmark as a coach at the collegiate level. It's the fact that he doesn't just pick great wide receivers. He sends those great wide receivers to the NFL at a high clip. And a lot of people were looking at Omarion Miller as a NFL caliber type wide receiver. It seems like he is not going to end his career as a Buffalo before going to the league. So Colorado wide receiver Omarion Miller is entering the transfer portal. He spent 3 years in Boulder, and he was the Buffs leading receiver in 2025. Again, this is not a transfer portal player. This was a homegrown, I believe, 3-star, 4-star in Omarion Miller, and he had his injury in that sophomore year. And then in this junior year, this is really where he was supposed to be the real deal alpha. He totaled 45 receptions for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns this season. Again, it really wasn't his fault that he went under 1,000 yards. It really had a lot to do with the inconsistency in quarterback play. Now, again, this is what I mean by, like, for as much as people talk about Deion Sanders being the transfer portal guy and the transfer portal king, he has landed a top tier prospect when it comes to wide receivers for all 4 years of his Colorado tenure, right? Omarion Miller, the 2023 4-star player, he started off that blue chip run. So in 2023, you had 4-star Omarion Miller, 2024, 4-star Draylon Miller, 4-star Quanell Farrakhan, who's still on the team currently. And of course, this cycle for 2026, 4-star Xavier McDonald. So it's really easy to say that, Omarion Miller would just be another jewel in the cap, a jewel in the crown of what Deion Sanders has been doing best at the collegiate level. And that's drafting some dog wideouts. Now, this is what, again, it was really, to me, I felt like NFL or nothing else because he was starting to get a lot of NFL buzz. He's got that 6'2", 6'3" frame. He makes a lot of great catches, very acrobatic, almost CD Lamb-esque, right? Very, very calm and being able to reel in the football. And this is what the people were saying in the NFL. And I believe this is from, I forgot exactly where this is from. I think ESPN, if I can get my citing right. But Omarion Miller, wide receiver of Colorado, he was one of the risers in the draft. In a world with very few sleepers, my go-to answer this offseason for a sleeper wide receiver that did not make too many lists was often Colorado's Omarion Miller, a former 4-star and fringe top 250 recruit who was listed at 6'2", 210 pounds. Miller's lack of prominence has been at least largely injury related. The depth chart at Colorado would have been hard to rise up in the last couple of years with Travis Hunter as the clear number 1 in Miller's sophomore season, but Miller has not been healthy enough to even get himself on the field and challenge for those number 2 and 3 roles. Now, presumably healthy or at least active every single week, Miller is finally having the breakout season he has always seemed capable of. Miller gained a season high 128 receiving yards this weekend on the road against West Virginia, but perhaps going into the last few weeks of the season, Miller is still largely unheralded, but he is one of the few players that seem to have real juice and potential to rise up the rankings significantly. He will not have any postseason opportunity whatsoever at 3-7. Colorado will not even make a bowl game, but Miller has a lot of box checking potential. The recruitment status and height weight give him some indication towards potential raw traits. As a potential early declaree, I'm assuming, Miller scores highly throughout the analysis done on Thursday's podcast. His yards per route run on season is up to 2.74, and his proportional numbers look excellent as well, with 31.1% of Colorado's receiving yards and 46.7% of their receiving touchdowns. Miller is a big play style wide receiver with an average depth of target of 14.1. That is a 30th among 153 wide receivers in the FBS with 50 targets and a yards per reception of 19.2. That is tied second for the very same leaderboard. And my goodness, look, every year watching Omarion Miller has been, or not Omarion Miller, every year watching Colorado football has been exciting for one reason or another. Omarion Miller was the reason why Colorado football was at the least bit exciting this year. A lot of people had him poised to be the guy, and he came on to be the guy. And I really felt like he was going to do this and really go ahead and go to the NFL. But the fact that he wants another year, I'm assuming he wants to not only rise his draft stock, but obviously with NIL and different things, it changes the game of how these players look at it. And like I said, Deion said it best, right? When you have the transfer portal, it's about bread. So I'm sure he wants to get another cash out moment, right? Go to a big tier, maybe, a Big Ten SEC school, get him one of them million dollar plus contracts for a year, and then, ride into the NFL with some big money on him, right? So I do want to point out a few different things, right? Like I said, I think it's wrong to, especially because I'm an outsider looking in, I'm a Texas fan. I hope nobody has any, negatives towards Omarion Miller, because this is somebody who is recovering from a season-ending injury. He battled through injuries and situations to come and make the Big 12 second team as a wide receiver is really a large step up in the process, especially with the tumultuous quarterback position for the Colorado in this particular year. It's got to be tough to have to deal with all that stuff. So just shout out to him for doing what he does great and putting himself in the best opportunity. And again, an opportunity in which I thought he was ready for the NFL. Forget, a transferring out. I just thought he was done with it. He was going to go on to bigger and better things. Now, I don't want to just sit here and talk about the negative for Deion Sanders in Colorado. First off, we are going to talk a little bit about Jordan Tyson, because as we talk about the transfer portal and Deion being the king of the transfer portal, Jordan Tyson, who is, guess what, another top wide receiver in the draft. It's actually not somebody that was recruited by Deion Sanders, but somebody that was on the Colorado team when Deion Sanders came. Obviously, now Jordan Tyson is looked at as one of the best wide receivers in the draft. So Deion is going to talk about how the transfer portal played a role into that. But I do want to talk about something interesting and something that might also have to do with what Omarion Miller did in transferring out, is the fact that the new offensive coordinator, Brennan Marion, for Colorado, it shakes up a lot of different things. And in my head, I really felt like this bolstered a lot of the reasons why players wouldn't want to leave. Coach Brennan Marion State's lone season at Sacramento State. This is one season at Sacramento State, and I covered this last offseason as well. Number 1 recruiting class in FCS, 7-5, 262.6 rushing yards per game. That is 3rd in the nation in FCS. Averaged 33.8 points a game. 9 players named to all Big Sky Conference teams. Colorado is getting a good one. Obviously, he is an inventor of the go-go offense, right? Brennan Marion just posted this to his story. So, 9 players, 12 All-Americans. Sorry, it was 9 players, all Big Conference, but 12 All-Americans now. He has 12 players that have been named All-American, and obviously he is just another level when it comes to an offensive mind for a team in Colorado who's been struggling with the offense of the world. Maybe Omarion Miller just thought the go-go offense wasn't a fit for him, or it might be because Omarion Miller, it might be because Coach Brennan has a lot of players linked to him. So expect some players to be hopping into the portal for Colorado as well, because they want to play with Coach Brennan Marion. So it's not the end here for Colorado. And in the beginning, however, there was something very interesting, and it's the fact that, again, Jordan Tyson was on the Colorado team. I believe the same year that he came on, and there was an interesting conversation when Colorado played Arizona State, and it was Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, speaking about the fact that Jordan Tyson came in and kind of apologized to him for leaving the program and not being out there, and this is what Deion Sanders had to say.
Jordan Tyson. Didn't Jordan Tyson play here? And he left because of several different things. Jordan Tyson found his way into my dressing room downstairs at the conclusion of the game. Jordan Tyson came in there to say, "Coach, I apologize." I said, "Young man, let me tell you something, man. I love you. I appreciate you. I pray to God that you're a top 10 pick, top 5 pick, because you got it. You don't have to apologize to me. You're young, man. I was young. I was making some of the same mistakes when I was a short of your age. I'm just thankful that you got on the right course." He's trying his best to walk with the Lord. I mean, Hines Ward is coaching. That's my boy. So I understand this, and Jordan told me some things personally. But isn't this what it's all about? That moment. Even though we're getting our butts kicking, I'm sitting up there going through the game in my head, and he walks in. Full uniform, and says that. You got to understand, man, that cleans up a lot of the mess that's going on, that's transpiring right now, but he got it. I just pray that the multitude in our locker room gets it, because he got it before it was too late. And that moment right there, that's all us coaches coach for, that moment. So I'm praying for him. I'm wishing him the best. And I know he's going to do what he does because he's a freak of an athlete. Hey. And I'm just proud of that moment.
Hey, Browns, go ahead and get you. Hey, Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, you make the pick. Right? So, Jordan Tyson has been looked at as someone with a lot of high character, a lot of high football motor, and there's been a lot of questions to why he left and what situation left. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, how could Deion Sanders allow a player like this leave?" But clearly, the story is a lot deeper, and the transfer portal gets very sticky. It gets very odd. It gets very interesting, right? And let Deion Sanders tell it. It has a lot to do with money in these modern days, right? But it's great to see that, Coach Prime continues to have positive influences on some of these young men, even though things might not look great. I do think Colorado's going to be back to some very, very entertaining football here. And if not, Brandon Marion's going to force it into action. So y'all let me know how y'all feel. Haven't done, again, hey, we in the off season, man. Off season, we like to mix it up a little bit. So we doing different stuff. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content. Holla. Oh my goodness. You can't be lazy in the go-go offense, and Omarion is lazy. Now, we done recording. Now that we done recording, you know me, I like to keep it cool. I have been seeing some people call Omarion Miller a little bit lazy. I've been seeing that on the Twitter, man. I've been seeing that, dog. So I don't know if that's true. Omarion, you gotta, come clean that up. You let us know. But let's hop right into the next video. Boom. Okay, cool. All right. Tua gets benched, man. Tua gets benched. Oh, my goodness. Tua Tagovailoa has probably one of the most interesting careers in totality as a football player, right? We can go all the way back to the high school, or we can simply just keep it right in his freshman year when he replaces Jalen Hurts and comes in to win a national championship. And then the next year gets replaced by Jalen Hurts in the SEC championship. There's been so many storied things about him. Obviously a top pick, big boy contract with the Dolphins. Had a coach that seemingly completely believed in him in every way, shape, or form. But even when he started as his first time starting for the Dolphins, that was marred in a lot of different, controversy and things like that. So the new controversy is that Tua Tagovailoa has been benched. Now, the question is, does this make him or does this mark the end of his career as a starter? And does this mean he starts his backup journey? Or does this mean some lonely, lowly, desperate team for a quarterback is going to be calling up Tua in the offseason? Makes things a little bit more interesting. Obviously, Quinn Ewers becomes QB1. Tua is actually QB3, so he is the emergency quarterback. They seem to be done with him. And look, man, he has been playing great football. Miami Dolphins haven't been playing great football. They're not playing for the playoffs now, so at this point, you got to see what you have in your 7th round pick and former Texas football star Quinn Ewers. We're going to talk about Quinn Ewers. Before we do that, we have to talk about our guy Tua. Now, the best passer ratings on third down this season, minimum of 50-plus attempts, have been C.J. Stroud, Drake May, Caleb Williams, all the people who've been balling this year. But one of the worst on third downs have been Tua Tagovailoa. Like, literally the only person worse is J.J. McCartney. So it's a real tough situation. It's tough to think that all these quarterbacks, right? Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, that, the Dolphins ended up with Tua Tagovailoa and his career went the way it went. Obviously controversial sometimes because of the concussions and how that has been handled. Oftentimes just polarizing because he doesn't play good football and he's a lefty. I mean, by the way, Acho! See, that's what's so funny about Acho. What's funny about Acho is that he really thinks we just don't like him because of Shedeur stuff. No, dog. Acho, people haven't liked you for a long time. People don't believe when you say things, Acho. You don't say believable things. So shout out to you for saying Justin Herbert might win a QB beauty pageant, but Tua Tagovailoa is the better quarterback, period. My goodness. Good job, Acho. Good job, Acho. Lord have mercy. What are we thinking? And, I guess the real question is, why did Tua get benched, right? I mean, he's been playing some pretty bad football games, right? I think Do I have the stats for the last game? Yeah, I mean, he's been playing some awful football games. I mean, just in these last games, 173, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 88 rating, not bad. 171, no touchdown, 96 rating, 157 yards for an interception against the Jets. Against the Jets, guys. 127 yards, a touchdown, 94 rating. And then at Pittsburgh, he threw for 61 yards, an interception, and had a 46 rating. It hasn't looked very great for Tua recently. So when you do that, get blown out basically. But look at oh my God. Tua has always struck me as someone who doesn't know how to read a room. Like, I'm sure he's a smart guy. You know, he loves God, all that great stuff. But I'm sorry. Look at this. Like, look at him looking at him. Like, dog, what are you laughing about? What is that funny? This reminds me of the Carson Beck, when Carson Beck, I forgot, Georgia was losing, I think, like to Alabama. And Carson Beck was just chuckling it up on the sideline. This is hilarious. This is real deal funny. He's just har-harn. And then our guy, look, man, and I think he says it great. I agree. I don't require my quarterbacks to lapse into clinical depression after a blowout loss. But in my lifetime, I've never had one enjoy the experience. That's too much. He's having a great time. Look. They're cackling. They're cackling with laughter. And I agree. I agree. Look, you don't have to be sad after a loss. Like, you really don't. You don't have to be sad after a loss. I don't think that's wrong. But my goodness, I mean, he was having a great time. Like, he was having the best time he had. It was with Jalen Ramsey. But hey, it is what it is. The real conversation is, does this mean that Tua is over, or Tua time is over for the Dolphins? Sadly, maybe not. It's not as bad as the Deshaun Watson situation with the Browns. But if they're thinking about benching Tua, it's not going to go great when it comes to the books, because 2025, he's already owed 39.2. This is all guaranteed. He has fully guaranteed money coming out. The cap hit in 2026 is $56 million. Oh my God. Oh my God. It only gets worse. Oh my God. So next year is 56. The year after that is 53. It comes down. And then the year after that is $65 million cap hit. They're going to be paying for the next 4 or 3 years for Tua. That is not great. And of course, Tyreek Hill had plenty to tweet out. Man, shout out Retrospect. Does anybody watch Retrospective growing up? Man, this was my childhood, man. But this is what Tyreek Hill tweeted out as soon as that happened. Now, I think a lot of people, including myself, are lining this up to mean, hey man, Tyreek Hill is serious about getting traded this time, I guess. But because he's been supporting his guy Tua a lot. Tyreek Hill has gone to bat for Tua in a lot of different instances. So maybe that's him supporting his guy. But it's hard for me to believe that. Now let's hear what Tua had to say after this situation.
Naturally, I'd say I'm disappointed. I think it's normal. It's normal human emotion. But, outside of that, I got to do my part. My role here right now is to help whoever the quarterback is going to be for this team, to lead this team, help in whatever way I can, to help the team win this game on Sunday.
What did Mike say to you?
We just had a brief conversation about changing the quarterback.
What was your reaction?
Disappointed. I'm not happy about it, but it's something out of my control.
Why do you think this has happened?
I would say the biggest thing, and it's being honest with myself as well, had been my performance. I haven't been performing up to the level and the capabilities that I have in the past.
Mike said that he was looking for a quarterback to play with conviction. Why do you think that you haven't played with the same conviction that he's looking for?
Not too sure.
Tua, are you upset about being number 3 instead of number 2 on the depth chart? Or does it not matter to you?
As I said, I'm here, and my role right now, if I'm not starting, is to help the starters help us win games.
Hey man, he gonna be a well-paid QB3, man. Well-paid QB3. So he says it. Very disappointed about the situation. Again, he is QB3, emergency quarterback, like our guy Shedeur started off the season as. So a lot can change. But he was wondering who the quarterback is, and you don't gotta wonder no more. It's our guy, Quinn Ewers. And if you're not familiar with Quinn Ewers, right, I'm a big Longhorn guy. He's given me countless of heart attacks. 7th round pick, but also former #1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school. Spent 1 season at Ohio State before starring for Steve Sarkisian at Texas when he threw for 68 touchdown passes in 3 seasons. Big opportunity for the rookie 7th rounder. Now, this is what Mike McDaniels had to say about Quinn as soon as he got drafted.
Let's say Quinn has a natural disposition of confidence, not cockiness, but confidence. If you saw his face on draft day, he's a competitor that believes in himself, and I think very excited for the opportunity, but also very understanding of what that means. And he left my office and went to work.
I'm a big Quinn Ewers guy. No disrespect, maybe Mike McDaniels has just been vaping too much. Quinn he cried on the phone when he got so I don't know. I mean, you should cry if you get drafted in the league, but I don't know what crying. I don't know how that means he's a gay. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is Mike McDaniels supposedly believes in him, and I think this is a dope video to go back and look at. Back in rookie minicamp. So this is prior to day 1 of rookie minicamp. This is how he felt.
Last couple weeks been like since you got drafted and now starting out minicamp.
Yeah, it's been good. Just like you said, getting ready for minicamp, and obviously I'm continuing on the journey of my career, and it's been exciting. It's been a dream come true for me since I was a little kid. Since I picked up a football, I always wanted to play in the NFL, and it's not a better place to begin the journey.
An offense that's had a lot of success over the last few years, being able to learn and cultivate your skills with this group, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, they've been there, they've done that, they've succeeded at the highest level in our game, in our profession. So it's exciting. There's really no other words to describe it. It's just exciting, and to learn from all these veterans.
So it's dope to see. And I want to add a little caveat again, as somebody who's watched probably more Quinn Ewers football than the average Bear. The thing that I enjoy about Quinn getting his start with the Dolphins is the fact that this is a system that fits what he likes to do, right? He's a guy that's not afraid to attack the middle of the field. He's a lot about placement and accuracy, but more importantly, all the different motions that Mike McDaniels typically uses. It kind of mirrors some of the things that Steve Sarkisian wants to do, right? So while Steve Sarkisian's offense is a little more vertical and a little more big shot type vibes, whereas Mike McDaniels on this side is a lot more, hey, let me give you this out, let me give this over, let me get you something that really it's a rhythm offense. I mean, every NFL offense is a rhythm offense, but I would think even more so with the different timings and motions and stuff like that. So I think it should give him a pretty good a situation. What's it called? A pretty good situation to start off and take the next steps to being the quarterback. And again, I mean, he made some magical plays happen. And this is, probably the best play. This is the best play of Quinn Ewers' career as a Texan. 4th and 13 overtime. We're losing to Cam Scadaboo's ASU boys. And shout out to Matthew Golden. He not only that, but he changes the protection right here. They send a nasty blitz at him. He steps up and he absolutely lets a beauty in the back of the end zone. And we escape against the dang Golden Devils, or what are they called? The Sun Devils. So I'm very happy for Quinn Ewers as a Texas fan. I'm very happy to see what it is, and also as a football fan, because Tua Tagovailoa has been just playing just playing terrible. He's just playing awful. So I don't know what this means for his future I think even if the Dolphins trade him somehow and get that, I don't even know if you can get that contract off your books. Like they're in a very peculiar situation where sitting Tua might not even be the best thing for them. I'm not sure how well they thought about that big ass contract they gave him, but it's going to be hurting them for at least the next 3 years. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. If you're watching this live, stay here. We got more to talk about. If not, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like football content. Go be great. We'll see you next time. Peace. Yo. Sell more fug. What's going on? What's going on, man? CTE isn't funny. I wasn't making a CTE joke. Who was making CTE jokes? What's next for Tua? I don't know what's next for Tua, man. Maybe he can work at Publix or something. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? All right, we're going to go CJ Stroud and then Arch Manning. We're going to go CJ Stroud. But let me read the chat for a second. What's it called? No, it's not. Tua don't care. He got paid. Yo, Tings. All right, that. Need to get back players who play for the love of the game. That's important. That's important. Vibes is another Spencer Rattler. Well, I hope if he can start a little longer, that'll be good. I forget Mike McDaniels was a Browns wide receiver coach in 2014. The Browns probably have the best lineage of coaches that were good in other play. What is I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a Browns curse, man. They had, do you know who they had in the building right before he went on to lead the Patriots? Yeah, Vrabel. Vrabel was on the Browns staff before doing what he's doing now for the Patriots. So, there you go. As long as the greedy owners make the money for freedom, I think they get what they get. Not one owner is in it for the love of the game. Ewers was mid, wasn't he? Yeah, he was pretty mid. He was mid, but I got a soft spot for him. You know what I mean? I love that most of this year's rookie quarterbacks inevitably ended up in a starting role. Yeah, I think that is pretty cool. It's at least, you at least get that experience, get to see him a little bit. Tua should sit back and get that bag. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that if I was him. Craig says, the NFL and its owners took the love of the game out of the game when for years they screwed players out of their money. No free agency. I don't blame the players for getting that skrilla. Yeah, I'm not mad at all. I am not mad at them getting a big bag. You feel me? Do what you gotta do, man. Get the big bag. You feel me? They're helping Tua by benching him. Definitely for his livelihood and for his mental health. I don't mean that in the mental health way. I mean his head. Dog, not fun. It's not funny. I hope y'all don't think I was making. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I don't know how they allowed him to play football after what we saw. I think he is, and that's why I'm yo. Y'all better go protect Jackson Dart, for real. I'm not saying that to be cute. I'm saying that because I'm worried about Jackson Dart, on some real, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Rookie quarterbacks all doing good this year except for, never mind. What do you mean? All right, let's talk about this. Can I talk much again? Man, I love making Texas video, man. I could really, y'all think I'm biased. I don't get biased until I talk about my guy, CJ Stroud. Corinthal James, I probably said it wrong. Stroud. They doubted him. They said Davis Mills was a better quarterback than him. They said his locks had no hang time. They said a lot of nasty things about my guy, CJ Stroud. Right? The leader of the Houston Texans, the soon-to-be AFC South champions again. All we got is Goldilocks standing in our way of taking that claim. And I want y'all to know the playoff chances right now in the AFC, we sitting at a cool 92.6, big guy. We could sneeze and make it to the playoffs. Don't let this defense in. But y'all know about the defense. We've talked about the defense. We've praised the defense so much. What about the unrespected? What about Mr. CJ Stroud? Huh? Because right now, the same man that y'all decided to disrespect, Mr. CJ Stroud, had his best game since coming back from injury as the Texans won their sixth straight. He had an 88% adjusted completion rate and a 74.1% accuracy percentage, making him the only quarterback to rank in the top 5 in both in week 15. I want y'all to know this was in September 20. I think this was like week 1, week 2. We went from this, right? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So quick.
You know what I'm saying? We went from this, right? Watch Jeffrey Simmons of the 2-11. Boom. We went from this man couldn't even get a handoff if he wanted to this.
He had one-on-one on the opposite.
To this. Look at this. Look, he's a psycho. Why would you throw that, CJ? What possessed you to throw this ball? Rolling to your right between multiple defenders, layering that thing in there. Be afraid of 7. Please be afraid of 7. Because we doing some nasty things, and it's gotten so crazy that NFL greats don't tell George Pickens I said this, but NFL greats Richard Sherman are shaking in their boots about this team.
AFC right now.
They're a huge threat. They've won 7 of the last 8, and the one loss they took was to those deep Denver Broncos in a defensive battle that could have went either way. I think this is a team that's catching their stride at the right time, and I always trust a team with a great defense. C.J. Stroud was banged up throughout the season, and they found a way to continue to win. Davis Mills held down the fort. But Stroud is starting to find his rhythm. He threw for 260 and 3 touchdowns against a Cardinals team that hasn't been great this season. But they're finding their stride at the right time. And they play the Raiders, who haven't been great and look really awful, looked awful today versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And you expect that they're going to factor into these playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the AFC Championship game in a weird year like this where you don't have the top quarterbacks, you don't have the top teams that you're used to seeing in these situations, and you'll run into a situation where they run into a young team and find a way to get a win, find a way to make some plays down the stretch and get a win. It's going to be a lot of inexperience in the playoffs, so you really never know what could happen. But the Texans are currently the 7th seed. They've been battling their way to start the season 0-3 and to get to 9-5 with winnable games down the stretch where they can play the Raiders, the Chargers, who've been playing good football, 2 10-win teams playing when they play the Chargers, the Colts with Phillip Rivers at the helm. I feel really good about this team going into the playoffs. If they get into the playoffs, they're going to be a tough matchup for somebody. And if you say, hey, the New England Patriots are playing the Houston Texans in New England, I'm not sure they feel great about that.
It get dangerous.
I just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? South clamps by default. The division is weak. Just joking. Nah, man, I don't want to hear from I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. Tings, like I said last week, I'm proud of you, future OG. Don't y'all call me a future OG. Yeah, I'm taking a break to read the chat. We're gonna get right back into Texans. I was mad as if we didn't draft him. I was so hyped his rookie year. We had one great quarterback going on that season. Oh yeah, CJ's a dog. And Intel Plays talks about Nick Chubb. Yeah, I mean, Nick Chubb was pretty banged up. I mean, we got 2 beat up running backs right now. Joe Mixon still hasn't played, so we don't know what's going on. There's a lot going on there. You can't use SS sound dangerous for the tech. Well, I can't use the it get dangerous for other stuff. Wait, y'all vote right now. Can I use? I'm about to finish recording the video because I got it paused. Can I use the SS dangerous sound for Texans videos? Can I do it? Y'all let me know, and I'm gonna get right back to recording the video. All right. I wish my squad drafted him number 1 instead of Bryce. Hey, I don't. Hey, Bryce is. We still believe in Bryce. I hope Bryce is gonna be all right. Hope Bryce is gonna be all right. But let me finish the video. Y'all vote in the poll. I'm gonna finish up my Texans glaze, and then I'm gonna finish it with a Texas glaze, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And if I have time, I'll read some comments from y'all too, because y'all know that's always a good time. You know what I'm saying, man? Look, it's all-time great saying that the Texans might just be an all-time great team and be able to compete in an AFC conference where people are a little bit depleted. Patty Mahomes is down. Joe Burrow's down. I don't even know. Lamar Jackson's going to make it to town. So let's see. C.J. Stroud on throws past the sticks versus Arizona. 9 for 11, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a perfect 158.3 rating. And again, most accurate passer, C.J. Stroud for Week 15. I want to give a little bit of praise to C.J. Again, like I alluded to, there was a lot of rumblings in the world of Texans Twitter, the Texans fan base of, oh, well, Davis Mills is winning games and all that. The defense was winning games. Like let's be honest. The defense was willing us to some amazing plays. Now, that boy Davis Mills did make some amazing plays. Let's not get it twisted. We ain't taking nothing away from Long Neck Mills, right? However, we don't gotta disrespect someone to lift somebody up. I don't like that. I don't like that. I was never about that. And especially when you're not talking about my big dog, C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud targeting the middle of the field, 0-19 so far this year. 95 for 120, 79% completion percentage, 9.8 yards per average, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 126.18 passer rating. And again, best passer rating on third down this season with a minimum of 50-plus attempts. There's Mr. C.J. Stroud at 101.4. He does it when he needs to do it best. He does it when he's asked to do it. And C.J. Stroud just deserves a lot of recognition for a team that I think a lot of people were trying to see and trying to look at as someone that was just another guy. Now let's hear some of the offensive line talk about C.J. Stroud. And after that, we're going to get into what the head coach has to say as well.
Comfortable. And I mean, we're doing a better job up front of protecting him. But I mean, he can throw the ball with the best of them when he's back there. Has the time to throw the ball.
You know the Caley offense, and is that what it's supposed to look like?
Absolutely. It's all balanced attack. Has to be a balanced attack. We have to be able to run the ball. We have to be able to pass the ball. We got to do play action and just try to keep the defense on their toes. I mean, I think everybody. Every offense would like to play like that. Right.
You know, you love that. You love to see that. And obviously, you know, I make a lot of Shedeur videos, and something that I speak about, especially for a young guy, is having that confidence. And I feel like some of that confidence is seen, and that's important to see because those are things that are unsaid, and you love to see that for any quarterback. Now, someone like C.J. Stroud, who has, you know, been there for a little longer, done that a little bit longer, right? The type of confidence that he instills when he's in, besides Davis Mills, that's also that same thing. Like there's a level of, oh, CJ is in now. CJ is here. We have to protect him. Not that they're not protecting Davis Mills, but it's just a whole nother level of confidence almost instilled into their players when these types of players that are looked at as ceiling raisers and floor raisers get into the building and get into the starting role. It's a beautiful thing. Now, what does Nico Collins have to say about our guy, not Nico Collins? What does D'Amico Ryans have to say about our guy, Nico DeFrico?
Watching him just grow in his career and get the, recognition that he deserves. Nico is an all-pro wide receiver in this league, and he needs to get that honor this year.
Coach, how beautiful thing, man. You love to see a coach like that in D'Amico Ryans, who's big up in not just the players, but big up in, some of the weapons and really putting us in great spots. D'Amico Ryans is the players coach of all players coach. He's done a phenomenal thing. And even in days and in weeks where, or years, I should say, where the Texans aren't doing the best and not always rush. I mean, we've gone back-to-back playoffs. We continuously, we don't look like a laughing stock of the league. We look like a team that teams want to come be a part of. They want to be with CJ. They want to be a part of Danielle Hunter. They want to be a part of Will Anderson. They want to be a part of Kalen Bullock and Kamari Lassiter and all these Henry To'o, Alshire. Like, we have a lot of amazing names. And not only that, our head coach is someone who seems to inspire a lot of people and put people in some really good places. So it's a great thing to see. So if you like this video, like it. If you don't, dislike it. If you're here live, don't go nowhere. Subscribe if you like football content, and we'll see you next time. The Texans are winning the Super Bowl. I didn't even go as crazy as I could. I could have went so much crazier. All right, what's the poll say? Okay, well the poll says The poll says, I mean, it's only 15 votes. The poll says, I can't use the Shedeur Sanders dangerous sound for Texans videos. I'm gonna let it keep going. I'm gonna let y'all keep voting now. Got to keep using it. Browns fans and fan of 12. Okay, I'm not. I like using it. Shedeur saying, can't tell the leader of the Shedeur Glazers not to use it. It gets dangerous, bro. Hey, I'm not the leader of the Shedeur Glazers. All right, I'm the lieutenant. Let's get it right. You feel me? CJ is balling. Appreciate you, King Tatum. Long neck Mills. No, that's not a stray. That's what we call him. We call him long neck Mills. That's just I've been calling long neck Mills. Hey, since y'all weren't there when Davis Mills started for us. There was a year. That was a dark year. It wasn't again, and I find it so funny, but we ain't got to get that. But nobody was mad at Davis Mills when he had a bad game because he was a rookie out of Stanford. Like that was a fun year. That was a fun year. Gotta find a new sound for the Texans. Browns fan of 12. Okay, well, we got multiple people saying it. CJ is balling. Intel plays you right. You feel me? Lamar Tings deserves it. It gets dangerous pass. Fine, but only for 12 and the Texans videos. Okay, we'll make it exclusive. What's it called? I'm right with you, big dog. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. All right, we're gonna end today speaking about our guy, Arch Manning. Yeah, man. Because Arch Manning, sadly, Mills was there and y'all threw Pierce in the garbage. I remember when he was the starter for the Texans. Hey, man, it was a good time. It was a really good time. I mean, he did his thing. It was some exciting times in the long neck era, man. They were there. He did some things for us, man. I do think he's one of the better backups in the league, like because he's got starting reps and he's got a lot. He got a lot with him, man. He's got a lot under the tank. You feel me? He's got a lot under the tank. But we'll do this, and then we'll do a comment reading video, of course. Damian Pierce. Oh, okay. Before we go anywhere, I was a Damian Pierce believer. I want that to be known. I know I'm a big Texans guy. I was so upset when we gave away like you said for a bag of peanuts. We just got him out of here. I really thought Damian Pierce was going to be the truth, man. I thought he was going to be the one. That was big. Oh, Leanne. Okay, Leanne, remember. All right. I see y'all. Y'all maybe y'all know a little bit more about Davis Mills than I thought. Maybe y'all you feel me? Y'all know a little more than I thought. All right, well, let's get to our guy Arch, and then we're gonna read some comments, and then we're gonna go from there. I'm sorry, Browns fans. Arch Manning will not be saving your 2026 season. I don't think anybody's going to save the Browns this year, but it's official. Arch Manning will return to the school in 2026. Manning's 87.1 PFF grade ranked 11 amongst quarterbacks this season. It's been quite the bumpy road for Mr. Arch Manning. As we all know, I mean, if you even watched football, you knew what was going on with Arch Manning. He was crowned top 10 quarterback in college football. He was crowned top 10 SEC quarterback. He was literally given the Heisman, as well as Texas was given the #1 rank in the nation coming into the season. Now, it started off absolutely terrible. I mean, talking about interceptions and red zone interceptions. I mean, we can let's get right to it, right? You know what I'm saying? We can talk about plays like this right here, right? This actually might be a good play. I don't know. I might put some good plays in here. Steps in the pocket. And, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about
mishaps of Arch Manning.
Talking about plays like this and him overthrowing and him completely missing wide open receivers and throwing across his body to just terrible stuff. I had to sneak in a good play in there. But just complete. This is against UTEP. This isn't against some elite talent. No, UTEP, he was missing, like he had pain in his shoulder when he was throwing the ball. Where is it? There it is. This was the one against Ohio State. Everybody was like, oh my, is he okay? Look, overthrowing on a 3rd and long. Like, it started very, very, very bad. And this was, again, against UTEP, guys. This is what we were looking like for EPA per play, 25th percentile, 39% success rate. It all ugly against UTEP. We were not looking like a playoff team, and Arch Manning definitely wasn't looking like a good football team. And then, of course, this was the most everybody was clowning Texas fans after this. I mean, he was barking at Sam Houston players, getting all up in their grill. Like it got real serious. It got real serious. And then you caught him on the sideline doing all this right here. Doing just freaking out and pushing his head like he was tweaking. I personally thought he had the yips early on, right? But it seems to be a little bit differently. And of course you got to remember Arch Manning pushed back on the comments that his his grandfather had put out there that, oh yeah, he's going to stay for another year. That was publicized. Arch Manning says, I don't know where he got that from, right? So it started right here. And this is what he had to say.
Next year, is he right?
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. He texted me and apologized about that, but I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
So you took it day by day into the first 4 games completely being awful. I'm not going to allow us just to forget that Arch started off really bad, and some of the bad games were against very bad teams. Now, with all that being said, the way he finished up the season is something very potential or something great to be excited about if you are a Texas fan, because in the last 5 games, which 3 of these games were against top 10 teams, right? 12 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1,493 passing yards, 298 yards per game, 2 wins over top 10 teams. Arch Manning is in a good spot. And I know we've got a lot of Browns fans even. They're very excited. They're very excited about your guy, Dontavius Moore. He's supposed to be the guy. He throws a great ball, all this stuff, XYZ, right? He don't got many more yards than Arch Manning playing in a bad season, and he should technically have more weapons over there at Oregon, right? We had a terrible running game. What's it called for Texas? But anyway, and then for the total yards, because you got to add the rushing yards, 32 total touchdowns for Arch Manning, 3,100 yards to 7 interceptions to Dante Moore's 25 total touchdowns and 2,924 total yards. So look, man, and these are people who are supposed to be the top-rated quarterbacks. If they do come out, I think Arch Manning is doing some big things. And of course, I know the Browns fans, y'all don't worry. 2027 isn't off the table because y'all know Jimmy Haslam is locked in with the Mannings, man.
Well, Tony, you're in the business and you get paid by how many hits you get, okay? And I think if you know the Manning family, I would bet that, and I don't know Arch at all, okay? I bet he stays in college 2 years, so I don't even think that's worth discussing.
So he already knows what it is. So my question is, now that a lot of us understand, or a lot of us know kind of what happened with Arch Manning and the fact that even Jimmy Haslam knew what was going on, I think Jimmy Haslam told you how the draft was going to go. I think they want to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes, especially now that he's playing better football to end off of the rest of the season, right? Maybe the plan this entire time was it don't really matter who's coming out in 2026 because Jimmy Haslam already knew he ain't coming out in 2026. We're going to be sitting there ready at 2027. Now, we made fun of Arch Manning. We talked about some good stats. I do want to look at some of those good things and also the acknowledgement from Arch Manning because he knew he wasn't playing up to his standard. But obviously, he had a concussion. He came back from it. He started, looking a little better, looking more confident. And this is what he had to say.
I think just playing games, experience, having some bad games. I think offense is starting to click a little bit. We got to continue to press and finish games, but I'm proud of the way we played today. Maybe the concussion helped.
But can you kind of go into it and how comfortable you are?
I think it starts with the O-line. They played really well today. Receivers made plays, and that makes it a little bit easier on me. It's been a long month, I'll tell you that. But I think we've all grown closer together, and it's helped us in the long run. We just got to continue to press forward. This month of November is going to be no joke, so just got to continue to get better and stay connected. Just try to take it one play at a time, and then hopefully we win at the end. But just continue to be a good leader. I'm probably still going to get chewed out. I mean, you see that Hail Mary, I threw it in the freaking student section. So there's a lot to work on, but got to continue to get better.
Love to hear that from Arch Manning. And, you know, you love to see great things like that. Since being labeled a flop, because, you know, a lot of people were, you know, Arch Manning becoming a flop, and everybody was kind of doubling down on that. But since being labeled a flop, Arch Manning has 4 games with an ESPN QBR of 88.6 or better, 13 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 rivalry wins over top 10 opponents, obviously Oklahoma and them disgusting Texas A&M boys. And look, man, Arch Manning is working this pocket and delivering great balls. Man, I was going crazy during this game, man. I hate an Aggie, boy. Ain't nothing I hate more than an Aggie. So I was having a great time in this game. Arch went crazy. He had a big-time rushing touchdown, too, where he got busy, got through the hole, and y'all couldn't stop the 16-wheeler going super-duper crazy. So I'm just happy that a lot of great was found, and, of course, some of that greatness is amongst here, right here. Arch Manning, first year, he's going to be back for another year, so I'll be here overreacting to Arch Manning playing good or Arch Manning playing bad, because that's what I do best. But it's been super fun watching it. I'm hoping to see more, you know what I'm saying, and just want to see some more growth. But no NFL time, no NFL like football content, and we will see you next time. Peace. All right, and remember, like I told y'all, I don't know the next time I'll be streaming, because I'm kind of on, you know, it's kind of go time for the situation that I got situated the way it needs to be situated. But what I will do is read some comments. Let's go ahead and read some comments. There we go. Oh my God, this should. Oh gosh, we got 82. We got 82 comments in here. We got 82 comments. All right, we're gonna end it with a comment reading. He talked about his name, but when it comes to SS, that's a bad thing. That's the difference, other than the complexion. Not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to Tony Grossi Arch Manning Cannon event. Imagine Shedeur is a starter, but we take Arch in 2 years just because Jimmy Haslam racking names for money in the new stadium. Hey, that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. He talked about he gets talked about for his name, but when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, that's a bad thing. I will say that, and that's why I've been trying to keep things fair between the Shedeur and the Arch Manning stuff, because I'm a fan of Shedeur because of who he is and because of his name and all that. So I would be a fan of Arch Manning. I don't treat them differently though. You know, the media going to treat them differently. I'm not going to treat them differently. I'm gonna support both of them. You feel me? It's all support for me. He might become a good quarterback, but has a lot of growing to do. No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Does anyone ever show you love for the Bobby Boucher jersey, Mean Machine jersey? Hey man, I get a few comments from time to time. I've been, if I'm being honest with you, in like a perfect world, my YouTube channel would be about football TV shows and football movies, because that was my jam growing up. I loved Longest Yard. Obviously remember the top, like anything football related, even the not the Tooth Fairy, but the one with the Game Plan, even that, like anything with football, I would watch it. So I appreciate you shouting it out. I get a few shouts, but those are like little Easter eggs. I want to see if y'all get it, if y'all see what's going on. But big Bobby Boucher, man. Big Bobby Boucher, man. But all right, we're going to close it out. We're going to close it out with a comment reading, man. And I appreciate y'all noticing that. Final video, some of y'all's favorite video is a comment reading. So, that's some high quality H2O. It's always some high quality H2O. And I don't even know I said what's up, Trizzy. I appreciate you being here. Intel Plays, everybody, y'all sticking here. Only got 110. I'll say only. That's still a lot. Oh my goodness, that's only. But I really appreciate y'all rocking with me, staying with me, rolling with me. Ended off with a little comment reading video. This will come out Saturday. Reminder, again, before I close out and do this final video, I am going to be taking a break. There will be content posted, probably not as much, won't be up to date. That break could start as soon as next week, or it could be the beginning of the season. But also, I just want to take a break for Christmas time too. So I will be releasing some compilations. So if y'all see that XYZ, just know that I've taken my break. You know what I mean? I gotta come back, and when I come back, I'll be locked back in with everything, and we'll kind of go from there. Oh wow, that's interesting. Sorry, they just got a new Miami update. Water jugs. But let me Gatorade. No. All right. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Shedeur Sanders should never play another down of football. I got a lot of mean comments last week, but I'm here to read all of y'all's comments on my comment reading video. We know we do this every single week, so let's get right into it. Eddie George, 27, says, I've been a Browns fan for almost 5 decades. I don't remember seeing a more accurate quarterback in Cleveland. He has a chance to be top 10 in the NFL. His mobility and arm strength are both very underrated. And hey, I gotta agree with you, Eddie. That's all we've been saying. And I think a lot of Shedeur fans just believe that, hey, if you just give him some time, space, and place and put him in a competent situation, that you might have really big dividends. So Kimmy Young says they discredited what Shedeur in his best performance so far for saying it's just the Titans, it's just the Raiders. Yet those same people are hyping up Mendoza and more for having good games against Wisconsin and not even having great full statistical years, because Mendoza went ahead and Mendoza went ahead and only threw for about 2,900 yards and still won the Heisman. 1 second, I gotta do something real quick. Sorry about that. So, it's never the same when it comes to Shedeur or any of these quarterbacks, right? It's context for other people, but it's excuses for Shedeur. But you know how that goes. Imagine people calling us occultists when they voted for wearing them red hats. Hey, you know me. I don't like to get too political around here. I like to corner it, but it is Shedeur isn't just winning. He's breaking records under pressure, constant pressure, free rushers, collapsing pockets, and yet the production never stops. This has been the story of his entire career. Now ask yourself, what happens if you give him an elite offensive line? What happens if you give him elite receivers? People been saying this. People were saying this back in after the Titans game. Remember that this his best game. People were still like, imagine if he had a good offensive line. God does not play about his children's. My nephew been him since the little leagues. Put some respect on his name. Oak Cliff, Texas, Dallas, Texas. 315. Let's check it out. The money he is being paid is coming out of their pockets. Now I got real animated, but like y'all gotta know, and I said this in the last video, and I want to elaborate on it because I love football. I love it so much, man. Football is so great. But here's my issue is that people they take it so seriously. Like, okay, so that's what Leanne is referring to. I like how to refer it. I like 12 in Cleveland because he wants to be in Cleveland. This is what I'm talking about. One of the, and I'm gonna finish your comment, but I feel like so many times or so many people that aren't watching all of the interviews like we watch and watching all what they don't see is to that point. Shedeur loves Cleveland, dog. Like, he really wants to be a part of Cleveland. Like, that is a whole nother level of appreciation that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, especially because, and I know Browns fans don't like when I say this, the Browns have been known as a poverty franchise. It's so interesting to me that whenever the whole thing came out about him not wanting to go to the Eagles, not wanting to go to the Ravens, like that, and wanting to go to the Browns, that was looked at as like some terrible, awful thing. And maybe you look at it as terrible and awful, but if you're a Browns fan, this is a quarterback that says, "Oh, I've seen the history of the Browns. I want to go change the history. I want to be the better of that. I want to be the reason why positive things start happening." So it never made sense why Browns fans don't want Shedeur to be great or be that one, because he was open about, hey, I want to change a franchise. So great. I mean, already a great comment, but he's there for the story. He loves it. He's the consummate entertainer. Just think about his journey until now. If Cleveland pulls a Spike Lee and he turns his franchise around, he literally built for the narrative. From grown getting offers from D1 schools as a high school freshman to setting records and changing the landscape at JSU and at Colorado, his projection and the fall in the draft, the treatment of him by the media and in Cleveland, the robbery during his first home game after breaking the loss curse on the first road win. Well, It wasn't after that. It was the break-in happened after he came in and lost. But regardless, he did then go ahead and break the loss curse on the first road win. Come on, it's freaking legendary. Anyone ignoring that doesn't love football. And that's a great point. Like, and that goes back to, what you're referencing. Sometimes people ask me, you're a Texans fan. Why do you talk about Shedeur so much? I like entertaining football. Like, is that a crime? Is it a crime to enjoy entertaining football? Anytime I've watched Shedeur Sanders play football, it's been some of the most entertaining stuff, from JSU to Colorado. Again, going back to even in Cleveland now, it's just entertainment. I watch sports because they're fun and they're entertaining. And Shedeur Sanders has provided that. So, there's deeper reasons why I like Shedeur. But if my only response was entertainment, there should be nothing wrong with that. Hey, that's why we watch the game. Like he 6912 says, we not stopping, better not stop. Yo, our dog is cooking. That's why everyone is scrambling to change the narrative around him. I like to hear that. Bro, you might have the best takes in the game. You should be bigger than you are. Blessings. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate all of y'all. Hey, I want to take a second because, again, if you're watching this video, I hope I'm not already on my break by then, but there will be a break coming up. The content's going to change just for a second. Going to do some, compilations just as I get through some things. I got to take a second away. I want to thank y'all, and I've said this in multiple videos. This isn't my main source of everything, but it's been a phenomenal blessing to be able to talk about something that I wanted to talk about anyway. You can go back in my channel. I've been talking about Shedeur in Colorado and football. I've been talking about it for a while, but this year in particular, the support, and I know a lot of it comes from the 12 content, but y'all have also had an appreciation for me. And even if y'all don't appreciate me, just watching the videos and the support that it brings to me has been immeasurable. So I cannot thank y'all enough. So the fact that I have a comment reading video like that, that's what y'all don't get. Like the big videos are great, and oh my God, all these videos, that's great. These videos weekly that I come and I have 82 comments every single time of people just wanting to ask me, want me to read. This means so much to me, dog. Like it really does. Even if I couldn't get $1 or couldn't get a penny from it, it means a whole lot that y'all are this excited to comment under my video. So I just want to say I appreciate that. Congratulations. Also, I wish you and your family a great holiday. I appreciate that. I thank you so much. Obviously, I do have a tiny person on the way. That's what the break's going to be about. So all the people who have get well wishes, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. I'm recording this on the stream, but just thank y'all again. I cannot say how thankful I am. The boss lady even saw it too. She peeked in the comments. She said that was so sweet. So I just really appreciate all those things. So 2013, okay, this is Trizzy's referencing, right? Because that's what they want from Shedeur. They want Shedeur to see something, hear something. Hey, people don't like this. Maybe you should change. Fuck them. Hey, that's awful. I don't know. I don't like using the F word. Who cares? My grandma. Wait. One down. She literally said F them. But I came home. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, Grandma. I ain't got these friends. These friends don't really mess with me. They don't mess with what I got going on. They making fun of me. And he said, hey. And she said, if people don't like you, if they don't like what you're doing, come what? And I don't think, what I'm saying, I don't think I've heard truer words in my life. That's a great way, I think, to live your life. That's an interesting comment, and I'm glad that you speaking on it because my son, that's also mixed, was going through this at school. Okay, by the way, my son is half black and half Italian. Okay, Trizzy, I didn't know you had little peoples. Trizzy, I didn't know that. Okay. I taught him how to deal with it, and he's had no problem since. I simply told him to be the best version of yourself and don't pay attention to what people say about you. Trizzy is one of the better commenters, one of the better. I mean, he always does a great job, and he always puts a lot in his comments. And I think Trizzy is, if he wasn't here, he was in here at one point. This means a lot, Trizzy, because again, like I said, I'm mixed. I don't know if you could tell. I mean, I'm yellow, I'm bright, I'm a light and bright. I am mixed. I think I'm like a quarter of or something like that. I don't know. You know how it gets. But my dad is dark as night. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, forget about the plight. What I learned in my life is that whether you're mixed, whether you're light skinned, whether you're dark, whether you're, everyone's got a plight. Like everyone's got something. And I think that is one of the things that was kind of taught to me in that moment. My grandma telling me that is that initially I just thought that was about me and trying to toughen up, but it's not really about that. It's just about like people not gonna like you. not everybody's gonna like you. There's gonna be times where, hey, it don't mesh, it don't gel. This is not the right vibration. Like, and there needs to be to live your life. You have to live it understanding that sometimes you're gonna make some people upset. You're not gonna gel with people. You're not gonna mesh with people, and that's just what, that's kind of what life's about. So when I got into it and I was talking about Shedeur, like there needs to be no reason that Shedeur has to be. He's not hurting nobody. He's not harming nobody. If you don't like him, that's cool. But the fact that he seemingly had to pay or had to pay back for simply just being unapologetically himself, that's where I have the issue. If he actually showed signs of being arrogant, actually showed signs of being doing harmful things, or I don't know, flipping off the Heisman voters because he didn't win the Heisman, Diego Pavia, like if he did actual things, I would be like, okay, I see why y'all don't like it. But it's hard for me to see and know what he's gone through, what he represents, what he believes, and for people to think that somehow he's arrogant or all these other things. It's just like, I don't think y'all been paying attention, because if just being yourself is arrogant and all that stuff, then y'all want him to bend to some things that you seem fit. And I just never saw that. But I appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that, Trizzy. Oh, there's Trizzy. Yeah, what's going on, Trizzy? Okay, Trizzy's live in here. What's happening? But what's it called? Clutch Tifa. I don't know why they changed it to y'all ats, but Kal Chatafari says, I love the realness in your show. Keep that right arm up for sure. Oh, I'm never going and not gonna go down, man. I'm a Shedeur supporter, even though I love football. Even though I'm a Texans fan, I'm a Texas fan. I'm always scream and yell and go great. I'm a Shedeur supporter too. Dart was Daniel Jones 2.0. He can run an ad-lib, but he can't stand in the pocket and throw dimes. He's going to get crushed. I'm going to push back. I was wrong about Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart has some ability in the pocket. I think he needs to learn to protect himself. I think that's the biggest thing. If he needs to protect himself, and if he can't protect himself, then it's not going to be. And people say, oh, well, that's such a crazy thing. I'm sorry, but that's the way quarterbacks, like that. That's the way the game of quarterback. He's not a running back. He can't take those hits. He can't be out for a few games. Running backs, you get beat up, you're out a few games, you come back, maybe we put you on a pitch count. You can't do that with quarterbacks. You have to preserve yourself at every single time. So you're not realistic if you don't think Jackson Dart needs to go about ways to make sure he can survive longer. 50 years a Browns fan, and arsenalism has always hamstrung this team. They would rather stay crappy than be led by a black man. Now, this is not me saying that. I didn't say that. This is what D-Mac said. So hey, that's what they said. Congrats on the mini. Hey, I appreciate you, Frederick Matthews. Congrats on your son, bro. I got to get a 10-month. Oh, congratulations to you, man. I respect the knowledge and information that you always put forth in your stream. That one was A1. Of course. What's it called? 80 George says, I want Shedeur here. I want Lima, Grossi, Mary Kay, and the rest of the liars in the media out of Cleveland. I've been dealing with Grossi and Mary Kay for over 30 years. Their time here matches how long it's been since we last won a league title. Always cry for a new quarterback. 42. Hey, and again, this is what the Browns fans are strongly divided on what they should do. Should they just give Shedeur a chance, or should they just go ahead and put another quarterback behind a bad offensive line? And you can see there's some real deal Browns fans that are passionate about it. Shedeur Sanders after the Bears game could mean two things if he won or lost. One, everyone's going to praise him for beating a Bears team that's 9-4. If he lost, it'll just be he just beat up on bad teams. Can't wait until Sunday. Sadly, it didn't go 12's way, but we're here for another one. Can't stop, won't stop, 12. The whole offensive line is injured and smells like Tiger Bomb and Ben Gay. These clowns continue to talk about drafting a quarterback in 2026. My question is, who they planning to pick? Clark Kent. By the way, we read a stat in another video. I think since week 12, the Browns have had 3 different offensive line combinations, and they have had 9 different offensive line combinations throughout this year. So it's not great. When are we going to talk about Charles Robinson for dogging Shedeur and saying to cut him? Then as soon as Shedeur proved him wrong, different song, different tone. I don't know who Charles Robinson is. Y'all got to show me that. I'll need to check that out. Are we almost at the end here? We got a few more. There was not a play where DG actually got hurt. That change was made because he was looking like dog water. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of comments here. All right, let me. I got to speed run this. Oh my God, there's actually a lot of Oh my God. All right, Eric Bieniemy for head coach and Byron Leftwich for OC. SC. Okay, congratulations on the little one. Thank you so much. My hot take: the reason why so many teams mess up on quarterback position is that they assess athletically instead of cerebrally. It's all about image and athleticism, when the position itself is about how well you can read the defense, cerebral, and then respond athletically. GMs are worried about arm strength and when you're a 40-yard dash, when realistically the things that actually matter for a QB are accuracy and timing. GMs can't develop quarterbacks because they keep trying to make them serious athletic robots instead of developing their football IQ, training their arm to respond to what they see. It's what Brady was great despite not being the most athletic, and why Shedeur will be great as well. I think that's a good thing, and sadly, it's taken over the entire of the NFL. It's not just quarterbacks. We've gotten into this such a athlete over everything else, and so many positions that it kind of makes things upset. The miniature Shedeur's detractors realize he's not normal, but uniquely equipped to prepare for his journey ahead of football and life. The sooner they can join the rest of us enjoying the special gift from God. I think a lot of these guys have a special gift from God. Dart needs to protect himself. The concussions are dangerous. There you go. I agree. I just said that. I have screenshots of me saying in spring 2024 that if the Eagles drafted 12, I'd drive Jalen to the airport myself. Deontay. Now, to be fair, I do say this before he won the Super Bowl, but still, my man Deontay Lewis. 12 needs to be in Atlanta. Rams, Raiders, I asked them just some teams that they would like to get him traded to. Homie is number 2 behind Otto Graham. He led the Browns in the AAFL before the Browns entered NFL in 1946. Then Graham led the Browns to 6 world championships. He came out of retirement to win 1955 World Championship, 806. He went to Northwestern University. Wait, so with it, I'm trying to up the quality. I'm upping the quality as we go. You feel me? Tennessee auntie right here. 12 is where it's at. Love to see that. Detroit is the right answer. Detroit fans respect Goff, but we're kind of stuck with him too. Meaning, we all know we like a quarterback. I don't know what he meant by Northwestern. Maybe he's talking about Kevin Stefanski, because I think I said Kevin Stefanski went to. What do you call it? Harvard, but I think he went to Northwestern, which makes more sense. Continuing forward. What's it called? Homie is number 2. Oh, we already talked about that. Thank you so much for the new green screen. Of course, I did get a new green screen. Didn't think my comment would make it this time, but I appreciate your teams. Much love. I purposely didn't give an example, but I was thinking about teachers specifically as I was writing that one. It's just crazy to me how these talking heads want to cry about respecting the game and don't have shit to say about the fact that the interviewers they're working with are working 2 jobs, etc. Put your anger in the right spot, dog. That's my point, and it's ridiculous. I think that's a good point. I think that's a really good point. Congrats. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the well wishes. Detroit had Matt Stafford and did nothing to build around him. Now, this is a Georgia fan, so obviously, nothing wrong with being biased, but that's a really good point. Matt Stafford is another quarterback who had great rookie years and great early years. And he did have Megatron, right? But the offensive line was always a question for the Lions. And when he goes to a great offensive line with the Rams, voila, he's doing great things. Atlanta needs, y'all giving up on Kirk Chains. I'm hoping 12 stays in the land. Okay. The same people calling Shedeur supporters a cult are the same people who are diehard. Hey, man, from what I know, Donald Trump likes Shedeur. So I ain't got nothing to say about that. I love, appreciate any player that plays with passion, with great effort and love for the game, that I'm a fan of that player. Man, SS12, the reason I've been dripped in Browns gear all year. MF think I'm from Cleveland, and I'm supposed to be a Falcons fan, but I'm rocking with 12. I love that. They spent all preseason and season destroying this man's character. Now people are pulling receipts. They want to cry. Keep the same injury. I thought New York Dayball loved Jackson because of his whiteboard work. Well, I don't know. Tings, are you hat fishing? Wait, hat fishing? What do you mean hat fishing? That's my Oilers hat. Oh, some of my Titans fans get mad when I wear the Oilers stuff. I bought that in a Houston Texan mall, son. All right, these are the last comments I'm gonna read because you know what I'm saying. We'll double up on comment reading videos. But the money they're paying Shedeur, they're gonna get that money back whether they play him or not. I mean that's real. Backing Shedeur all the way. He's a 5th round pick, getting the attention of a 1st round overall. Constant scrutiny with very little patience. Media companies with hundreds of millions overanalyze everything because controversy pays. It's a kid's game that prints billions year over year, and people get paid well to twist narratives. If anyone can handle that pressure, it's 12. And congrats, Tings. I appreciate that. They screwed DG over. He's the one who should have been redshirted, and Stefanski has made him a nuclear hot potato. I've said this for a long time, And I've been saying this, and this is an evaluation process. And I don't mean to disrespect Shedeur, but I disrespect Dylan Gabriel, but he was never ready. Like they put Dylan Gabriel in a position where he clearly couldn't strive, and that's no disrespect. He couldn't do it, and they gave him the most reps that he was running the same offense. Like there were so many more things that Dylan Gabriel had the leg up with. He had a better offensive line. He had a better run game at the time. Like I know people want to try to compare apples to apples, but it's never going to be the same. And we don't disrespect DJ around here. You know what I'm saying? Never understood the haters dunking on Shedeur saying he's a 5th-round pick when the GOAT was a 6th-round pick, and Brock Purdy just signed a $265 million contract, and he was Mr. Relevant. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters what you do with the opportunity. Thank y'all so much for commenting down below. I will read the comments under this video and continue doing it. This is something that we're never going to stop. There might be a quick little lapse again when I take my break, but don't worry, there will be a comment reading like super compilation that's going to drop at the, probably in the next few weeks while I'm gone, while I'm doing what I need to take care of. But I just appreciate y'all for all the comments. The fact that we can do a video like this weekly, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Thank y'all so much. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like football content. Comment down below what's the next piece. Oh my goodness. Tings. Wait, what do they mean by hat fishing? What do they mean by hat fishing? Oh, respectability politics is not the move. Okay. Of course, I appreciate the congratulations. We about to wrap this up though. I'm about to put out. I'm gonna put out one of those Shedeur videos for y'all. Y'all like when I put up Shedeur videos late night, which is interesting. So I'm gonna drop that for y'all. Then I'm gonna drop the Tua video. I'm gonna drop the. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop all that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Means you not trying to show that head. Oh. Don't make me act. Oh no, they Ben Gayed me. They hit me with the black spray. But besides the black spray, I'm good, dog. I'm alright, dog. Like I just got a haircut. So yeah, that's the wrong time. Now they did hit the little black spray. I told them not to do it, but they did it. I got a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little old. I'm getting older. I'm getting but it's crispy, ain't it? Y'all see the, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I probably should have washed that out first. Nah, man, what's up? What it is? What's the problem is, man? What's happening? Go ahead. Judge me. I got a big forehead. That's why I wear hats. I got a big forehead. If y'all want to know why I wear hats, my forehead be glaring the screen too much, man. I said this earlier, but Tings, bro, Jerry Judy is Brucey with popcorn fingers. With popcorn fingers is crazy. Hey, man, come on, man. Besides, I told him not to spray it. I go to a Dominican dude. He must have seen I was on my unk stuff. But besides the spray, come on, dog. Come on, dog. I ain't playing no games. I ain't playing. This is an exclusive look for the stream. But no. I'll wear the hat because I got a giant forehead. That's the only reason why I wear a hat. What's it called? But thank y'all so much for rocking with me. It was an early stream. Again, I don't know the next time I will stream. As long as I have time, I will. I got to give time, obviously, to the beautiful people in my life that need that time. And, of course, it's about to be the holiday season. So I really expect y'all to be spending time with y'all's loved ones, opening gifts, giving gifts. Just enjoy your family. Enjoy the time. Get ready for the new year. You know what I'm saying? Lots of changes coming. And with those changes, hopefully more positive can come. Thank y'all so much for watching. I know it's only 91. That's so crazy. Only 91. But all 91 of you beautiful people and all the hundreds of people that watched, I can't do this without y'all. I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all wanting to watch these different things. So thank y'all for the support. Y'all have a phenomenal rest of y'all night. And if I don't see you next time, I'm going to see you next time. All right? Y'all be breezy. Y'all be breezy.